KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media station.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
With the 10th pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Brayden Burries from the University of Arizona.
After helping Arizona get to the Final Four, Brayden Burries is on his way to Milwaukee.
With the 30th pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Peat from the University of Arizona.
RJ seems to like this pick.
And that concludes the first round.
For Peat, you talk about value and where he's going right now?
There are so many things that he's able to do. Again, you look at the numbers that he put up. He is a winner. The athleticism is there. The size. He didn't have a great draft workout, but I think that those are things that can develop over time. His shooting, the things that needed to be corrected. But like I said, he won 4 state championships, played for the USA, won 4 gold medals, and then took Arizona to its first Final Four in 25 years. That is a lot of pressure that this young man has always played and answered the call.
Clearly, Richard Jefferson knew the pick was coming, because if you listen to that last night or saw that last night, he was clapping before the commissioner even said who the name was. I probably should have picked up on that. I was watching at home and hoping that last name was going to be Peat in the first round, and that's exactly what it turned out to be.
That was hopeful clapping, not Nostradamus clapping. He was hoping that his boy Koa didn't fall to a non-guaranteed contract. One more pick, and he doesn't get a guaranteed contract.
I mean, that's the big difference. The big difference between being drafted in the first round and being drafted in the second round is that guarantee. I mean, there's a range there, almost 80 to 120% more of what you can make as a first-round pick versus a second-round pick. And there's still a lot of people out there that are going to slam the fact that the kid could have made more money. He wasn't a lottery pick. He could have made more money if he came back to the University of Arizona. He could have solidified himself for next year. But, I mean, I'll go back to what I said, 2-3 weeks ago. I mean, this is an opportunity to go and start your career. And I laugh at anybody that says that they would not have taken whatever monetary amount to go start their career after 1 year in college. It was one of the reasons why I always said I never get mad at kids who want to leave early for the pros. Never did. And when I was in college, I knew a lot of kids, and when I was at USC, a lot of the football guys I knew that left early to go get their NFL professional careers started, help their families do whatever they needed to do to get that money train rolling. I mean, if you have the opportunity to do that 1 year out of college, go for it. I mean, and the biggest thing, and I'm not saying this because I want to knock school, but you don't have to go to class. I mean, you don't have to go to class. You don't have to write papers. None of that. You don't have to get up at, you might get up at 7 in the morning, but you're getting up at 7 in the morning. You're 6 in the morning now to work on your craft and work on your career. And that's not to knock college, but if you hand me an opportunity to go to work for a lot of money, an opportunity to go to school for a lot of money, which these kids can do nowadays, I'm going to go to work for a lot of money because I don't really want to go to class anymore. Yeah, it could be as simple as that. The decision could come down to that. Let me go make my money and work on my craft and be a professional and not have to go write papers every however often, take midterms, every 6 weeks in a semester. Could be as simple as that.
Does that apply to a guy who turned down $7 million and now doesn't have a guaranteed contract, and the most he can make next year is 1.5? I mean, I talk about it all the time. Henry Vasar did not get drafted. He was offered $7 million to return and would have been an All-American, preseason All-American. I talk about this a lot, but if people don't understand, Kevin Garnett changed the NBA in the 90s when he got a $100 million contract when guys like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Magic Johnson weren't making anything close to that. So they had to change the rules, which is a sliding scale based on where you're drafted and you start a clock. So the day you get drafted and sign your first professional contract is the sooner you can get to your second and third contracts, which really balloon. So the decision making has always been very simple before NIL. I'm going to go to the NBA now, even if I'm a second-round pick, because I believe in myself. I'm going to get on a roster, sign a contract, prove that I belong there, and by the time I get to my second and third, I'm making first pick, second pick type money. It's really funny that we're talking about this today because did you hear what the Lakers did?
Austin Reeves.
The Lakers signed Austin Reeves to a $165 million contract. Do you know you should know about Austin Reeves, David Kelly? He was undrafted.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money, the most money any undrafted NBA player has ever made in the history of the sport? That would be Fred VanVleet, and he made $165 million in his career. Austin Reeves just signed a contract for 4 years, which is the same amount of money as the most ever earned by an undrafted player. So once you get in the league, it's really up to you and the team you go to and what role you find. We all know the NBA is about superstars and role players. So if you find a spot and you're a great rebounder, we're going to talk about the guys, U of A guys in the second round potentially today. But at the end of the day, it's really about how much you put the work in, Dragon Ball, how prepared you are to, take a little bit of an ego hit and maybe not be a guy who's taking 15 or 20 shots a game. You might get 1 or 2 just to learn, sit, and understand from the veterans, and finally, eventually in time, work your way. That's the end of the first round, beginning of the second round type of guys. You're not being drafted to be a day one starter and play 30 minutes.
Yeah, everyone likes to go ahead and marvel at the story of Washington's own Isaiah Thomas being this last pick in the second round, number 60 overall. Isaiah Thomas was not the playoff hero that was known in the Boston Celtics and everything like that at the start of his career. He was a guy who was really trying to struggle to stay on the roster in Sacramento for a long period of time before eventually the Kings just decided, you know what? We got no one else that can play point guard for us right now. We need to go and get an influx of offense. Let's play Isaiah Thomas. But that's a very small window, a very small story in the grand scheme of NBA history. You get a lot of guys that just you don't hear them. You don't hear them come off the bench after they get their name called on the second day of the NBA draft just because that's the way that this whole system ends up working out for them because a lot of them don't end up making that second contract. They probably have difficulties getting into their first contract because they spend time in the development league, the G League, and all these other spots that they go to after getting called on the second day. So hearing Koa get called on the first, I know that the biggest thing about that for him is just the rapid whiplash about where he was being valued in the draft going into it.
Hey, young man, you're on 3 different teams before you sign your contract. How's that?
Yeah. And with Koa, it was fresh off of the Final Four run. It's like, okay, this could be the second best power forward prospect. This could be a guy who's probably in the high teens. And then all of a sudden, after the draft workout, well, he's probably a fringe first rounder, probably second day draft pick, then finally gets his name called at the 30 spot. So for him, I know that he had a very high window, a high ceiling after the Final Four run. Then he had his window kind of close ever so slightly after the workout because everyone was clowning about the jump shot. There's a little bit of a hitch in it. He has all these other athletic capabilities, but he just doesn't have that jump shot. And that's the only thing people were talking about after his workout. Then you get to draft night last night. You see Brayden Burries go 10 overall, and then you're wondering, okay, when does his name get called, if at all, in the first? So just hearing his name called on the first day, I'm sure is a massive relief on his mind.
And let's be perfectly clear. This is not in a vacuum. This is a generationally deep draft. There are 4 or 5 guys who are franchise changers at the top of the draft, which means everybody else has slid down. We talked about this yesterday, DK. Unfortunately, with the Anthony Bennett situation that the Cavs had, there just wasn't a lot of talent at the top of the draft.
Yeah.
So some years, that number 1 pick is, crapshoot. You're just like, hey, I don't really know, which one of these guys is going to pan out 5-10 years from now. Nobody really knows. Koa Peat would have been a top 20 pick in any other draft. Not any other draft, but in most draft classes, he's considered to be a top flight talent. As Dragon Ball said, just a couple of things. But at 245 and 6'7", he's already coming into the NBA game ready. I think Koa is going to be just fine. I'm not really worried about Koa. It's really the guys today. The guys in this second round of the draft is going to be really interesting because, the fact is that some of the greatest players of all time fell to the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jalen Brunson was a second-round pick. Joker was a second-round pick. Like Manu Ginobili was a second-round pick. There's a lot of guys, greatest players in the NBA history. So just because your name wasn't called yesterday on the first day of the draft, but back to the whole point at hand, when you get that guaranteed contract and that peace of mind, did you hear the noise made by the family, DK? Here's the live reaction from the Peat household when he was announced to be going to the Suns. The whole clan was there.
Lot of excited people there last night in the Valley to hear Peat's name called at the end of the very first round.
Hey, so no moving vans, really. You don't have to go and make any long flights.
Did you hear the prophetic statement from Sam Dwayne?
Oh, that's going to go in the
So this is Perry's head coach, Sam Dwayne. He talked about this a couple years ago about Koa representing Arizona as a whole, but a little prophetic here at the end.
He's a no-brainer NBA player, and he will represent Perry High, and he will represent Arizona in a tremendous way, and I think he'll give back to the community. Hopefully he's a son. That would be just icing on the cake.
Icing on the cake.
It's not often you get a full circle journey where you don't really have to move your feet around that much.
Yeah, and remember, like Ayton played his high school basketball in Phoenix. Very similar path. Mm-hmm. Phoenix, Tucson, Phoenix. But he's not from Phoenix, and that's the big difference.
Right. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We're going to talk some Arizona women's basketball coming up today. They've got quite a few new additions to their coaching staff, and we're going to talk to one of those new additions. It is going to be Devin Newman, and she's going to join us on the program. Also, El Tri de Color is on the pitch tonight, back down in Mexico where they started this World Cup tournament. We're going to talk some soccer today. Ted Przelski, one of the best soccer minds here in Southern Arizona, will join us on the show. We'll get his thoughts on all things World Cup. You'll hear from Brayden Burries coming up. You'll hear from the general manager of the Milwaukee Bucks, John Horst, on their selection of Brayden Burries near the top of the first round. As J-Dub and Dragon Ball mentioned, the 10th overall pick in this draft. We'll get into all of that today, and we'll get you set for round number 2, where 2 more, at least maybe 2, possibly 3 Wildcats could hear their names called today in Jaden Bradley, Toby Awaka, and Anthony Delorso.
That would be the 26th and 27th first-round picks from the U of A in NBA draft history. 8th all-time. There's only 7 teams that have had more first-round picks, DK, in college basketball.
And Tommy Lloyd was there last night after Brayden was picked. You could see in the video Tommy giving Brayden a hug. We had mentioned that a bunch of the other coaches were there. John Calipari, Dustin May was there. Brad Underwood.
How many years in a row now has
there.
it been for Calipari to be in there?
Oh, gosh.
Cal really likes to be seen. So, he's really there so that the recruits from the 2032 class can see that he was at the draft supporting his guys. I think Tommy's that guy who's had a media, microphone and a camera pointed at his face nonstop for the past 4 months. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he was really super interested in being out. But it was great that he was there to support all the Arizona players involved.
And the suit was very good for him, too. He looked not too bad. I think it was an all white suit. So, Tommy showing out there at the first round.
If you're going to be at the NBA draft, you got to be prepared for it. You got to go to your stylist. That's how that works. Did you see the inline? All the inseams?
Stylist?
Oh. You see everybody with the inseams?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been a little bit – it's always been tricky with me with the inseam stuff just because it always seems a bit too much. What was it not too long ago? It was the kid from Kansas that had the ruby slipper thing.
I think a couple of them, DK, had every childhood photograph of their entire lives, just like a big,
which is where they then took it into the interview spot
big
later.
Scrapbook, yeah.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Also, Mercury will their rematch tonight against the Indiana Fever. We'll tell you why Caitlin Clark might just need to be a little careful. She's starting to rack up those technical fouls. Cricket is here, and she's always getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic anyway.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With a collision eastbound I-10 east of Grant, road not blocking travel off in the Gore section. Eastbound I-10 east of Grant, some mild slowing on eastbound I-10 approaching and passing Grant Road. Backups on Miracle Mile at Blowing Wells. An extreme heat warning until 8 p.m. tomorrow night. 81 the overnight low, 106 tomorrow, and 107 now. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
There's only one place to catch Brian Jeffries, the voice of your Arizona Wildcats.
Previous turnaround jump hook is good. Gawaka takes away the rebound and slams it home. It's a man's game.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track.
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero.
Rats.
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya.
Hooray!
That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you.
Oh, no.
Oh, brother. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
At O'Reilly Chevrolet, we know trucks. That's why we're proud to be Southern Arizona's #1 Chevy Silverado dealer, offering a huge selection and great value every day. And when it comes to pickups, the Chevy Silverado continues to lead the way as the #1 selling full-size pickup in Arizona for 4 years, based on S&P Global Mobility new retail registrations from April 2022 through March 2026. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or shop 24/7 at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Life's busy. Errands, kids, work, the I-10 grind. Who's got time to sit at a detail shop?
That's why Recon Auto Detailing comes to me. Mobile detailing keeps my car spotless without losing a minute of my day.
From mobile washes to in-shop ceramic coatings, tint, and paint protection, we're Tucson's one-stop shop for keeping your ride looking new. Convenience, care, confidence, that's Recon Auto Detailing. Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
For 250 years, America has been a bold experiment in freedom. Generation after generation, Americans have carried that freedom forward, running farther, climbing higher, standing stronger. From stadiums to neighborhood blacktops, from hometown fields to the world stage, the spirit stays the same. This year, America turns 250, and the next chapter of freedom is yours to write. All Americans can get involved in the celebration. Learn how at freedom250.org. That's freedom250.org.
Oh my gosh, Ted, why are you digging up the yard?
I'm looking for that stupid pipe. The bathroom drain is still clogged.
Shouldn't we call Goodfellas AC and Plumbing? You know, the professionals?
I found the pipe.
Whatever clogs your drains, leave it to the professionals at Goodfellas AC and Plumbing. The choice your family can count on for quick, reliable plumbing service using Permaliner to fix pipes and drains without digging up the yard. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, Arizona women's basketball about to enter into year number 2 of the Becky Burke era. And once again, Becky has had to rebuild this team almost from scratch, but a pretty good haul in the transfer portal to turn to year 2, as well as some new members to her coaching staff. And one of those new members joins us right now. Her name is Devin Newman. Devin, appreciate you taking some time to join us. Devin arrives after 2 seasons at the University of Pittsburgh. She is a undergraduate, big Pac-12, I should say, undergrad, really Pac-10 back in the day, undergrad from the University of Oregon, as also did some schooling at Louisville. Devin, how have the first few months here in Tucson gone for you?
Oh, they've been amazing. I'm just trying to get acclimated to some of this heat right now.
Yeah, you actually this was a bit of a mild spring for us. It didn't quite get as hot as it normally does as early, but we have definitely hit the hot season now in mid-June, where you're going to see 100, 105 plus degrees for quite a bit for the next 6 weeks or so. So how did you come to be here at the University of Arizona? I see obviously there's a Louisville connection. I would imagine, was that to where you and Becky first initially met?
Yeah, so crazy story. So that's where I got my foot in the door. I was a GA there under Coach Walls, and in her first year, my first year, her as a freshman, we went to a national championship together. So that's where we first met. And then just watching her, come up through the coaching ranks, we've always kept in touch, and, we've tried to get this thing together for the past few years, and now it's just the right timing, so I'm super excited to be here with her and, hopefully win some championships here.
Now, did you play at Oregon?
No, I did not play. So I grew up around the game. My dad coached all my life, so I've bounced around my entire life, but always knew that coaching was my calling. I was his shadow everywhere he went. So just knew I needed to get a degree. I needed to get my master's, and I just needed to get my foot in the door so I could start working my way up.
Now, I know, I always tell people I was a former manager in college. Did you manage at all? I know that's a door open to a potential college or even professional coaching career. Were you around the program at all at Oregon, or did your path kind of start after college?
My path really started after college. Okay. It was a MBA connection with my dad and at the time the director of operations at Louisville, and got on the phone with Coach Walls one time, and he's like, I got a GA spot. So I just got in the car and drove across the country and started working camps right away as a GA, and just kind of went from there. So
how have you kind of developed yourself as a coach, starting as someone that, like you mentioned, began as a GA and has worked in a number of different places. You've been at, obviously before Pitt, you were at, looks like Binghamton University up in New York, Weber State out in Utah. How have you developed yourself?
Yeah, I think, just really having the opportunity to do whatever I wanted. When I was at Louisville, Coach Walls was like, hey, get involved with whatever you want to get involved with. And so I did everything. I was in the video room. I was breaking down film. I was on the court working kids out. I was doing all the recruiting stuff. Like whatever I could touch, like that's what I wanted to do. And where I found my place and my passion was on the court with kids, and really just working that player development angle. And because I think that's one way you get your program better every day, and that's where you build the best relationships with those kids when you're in the trenches with them, working them out and getting them better every day. So I just kind of built my way up through there, and I really had a great opportunity to meet one of my mentors at Louisville, Beth Ann Ord, and so that's where her and I built an incredible relationship there. And then I was with her for 13 years, 7 years at Weber State, and then 6 years at Binghamton, and she just really allowed me to do everything. We built a great, bond, a great trust, and so then I grew as far as, doing offensive stuff, doing defensive stuff, recruiting, building my base there. And so it's just every year you just kind of add to your bag, so that's kind of how I developed.
Devin Newman is joining us, new assistant coach for the Arizona women's basketball team. We mentioned, obviously, at the top that you obviously go back to when Becky Burke was a player at Louisville. What was she like back then? Could you see that potentially she might be a coach someday? What type of athlete was she at the University of Louisville?
Yeah, so, everyone knows, when you train for an Ironman right in the beginning of, right in between your season, you're built a little bit different. You're wired a little bit different up there, But she's had that as a player coming in. You talk about a fierce competitor, and so you see it. And, she just always was in the gym, always trying to get better, and never wanted to take plays off. And so you knew she had that passion for the game. She had that fierce competitiveness. She had that passion to win and get better every day. So the fact that she is where she is now and she's won everywhere she's went and been able to rebuild, and, those things are not shocking. And I'm just super excited to be a part of this, this journey with her at Arizona.
All right, so you obviously, you mentioned you guys may have been trying to get this together for the last couple of years. There was an opportunity now to come out here. What was her first directive about, okay, we got here last year. We kind of basically had to build this from scratch and get what we could because she got here a little bit later in the process. Now you've got to kind of do it again, but at least your coach has been here for a year. What was the plan about how you guys wanted to attract the transfer portal and build this year's team?
I think, the biggest thing, too, is when you are rebuilding a program, every coach is going to do it differently. And she's really passionate about, building it with the young core, like building it with freshmen. And so you can build in your culture, and then start building around there. But you also got to go into the portal and get those pieces that have experience that, played at other places, have been, in college practices and know what this is all about. And then a lot of it, too, was, returning kids that were with her last year that know who, how she coaches, what are her expectations in the locker room that can help bring these kids along quick. Because, we have 5 freshmen coming in, but by the end of the summer, they better not be freshmen anymore. So, we're expecting a lot out of them. But, we have a really talented group, and we're really excited. We just got it going. Monday was our first practice to really see them actually out there doing some stuff. But they're passionate about getting better every day and working hard, and they're great teammates. And so when you have that, and they just want to get better every day, you got a real good chance to do something special.
Now I've heard the phrase by January and February you're no longer a freshman, but by the beginning of school in September.
Later in the summer, hey, we ain't got time. We ain't got time for January, February. We got to get these kids ready to go.
You mentioned, obviously, we saw the videos and the pictures, all the girls arriving last week, and now you guys are in the gym. So what are the first steps, and what is your do you have a specific role? Are you working with guards, or are you defense, offense? So what kind of explain what your role is going to be there in terms of the on-the-court aspect of it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just she knows, her and I obviously come from the same coaching tree. So, without having been here last year and being, at a practice with her, I know exactly what's going on. I know the verbiage. I know the intensity. I know the passion that we're bringing every day, the juice that you got to come with. So for me, I'll work with guards, but at the end of the day, being player development minded as far as a program, we'll get in the gym with everybody, and, I'll be here. I've been coached on the West Coast for, some time with my time at Weber State, so I'll be able to contribute there as far as a recruiter on the West Coast. And, but whatever she needs, hey, if she needs me on the defensive side, hopefully we'll be putting in some press defenses this year. So, wherever she needs me, I'm ready to plug in and ready to go.
So in terms of what you guys are doing right now, what is that exactly? I know the rules have changed and you can do a lot more in the summer now than you used to. So what are you all working on specifically right now?
Yeah, so we're in our 8 hours or whatever. So we get them on the court, at least 4 days a week. And we're doing a lot of player development stuff. We're doing defense because, Coach Burke, she's that defensive mind. We're we are gonna be the toughest team. Like, people are gonna know when they come play Arizona. Like, you're gonna feel us. And so we're focusing on the defensive end. We're getting them to the level where they need to get to mentally, physically, to be really physical out there defensively. And then we're going to run. Like, we're going to be that transition team, so we're going to get all that stuff in. But, so the focus is player development, individual player development, get our defense, where it needs to be, and start working on our transition offense. So that's kind of our progression this summer. And just being connected, getting connected. Obviously, we have a group that's pretty new to each other, so the biggest thing right now is, all of us getting connected and just getting ready to go.
You mentioned obviously a new group. Todd Starkey also came over, new coach, associate head coach. How? I mean, when I saw that, I was like, wow, a sitting head coach left a head job to come be an assistant. I mean, that's a pretty big get for Becky Burke.
Hey, and I think that's a testament to Coach Burke. Being respected out there by coaches, like Todd, who wants to come and, help and basically, bring some championships here in any way that he can. So I think that's a testament to her and, his belief in what we're going to be able to do here.
All right, Samaya Sugapong is obviously one of the returners on this team. We got a chance to see her extensively last year. Where do you want to see improvement from her going into the season?
I think, the biggest thing you're going to see from her, especially with this young group, is going to be her leadership. It's going to be her leadership on and off the court and bringing these girls along pretty quick. And, just to continuing to develop her game, as a scorer, as a defender, and, and just, being ready to do whatever it takes for her team, for us to be successful this year, whatever role that's going to be. So
now, where are you from originally, Devin?
Well, it's hard for me to say because growing up with my dad coaching, I've lived pretty much everywhere. So people always ask me, where are you from? I was like, everywhere. Wherever I'm living at the time is what I say. But I grew up all over the country, which, I've been super blessed with a lot of different experiences and seen a lot of the United States of America. So it's been a fun upbringing for sure.
All right, I'll ask you the question this way: what NBA team do you follow?
So that's another. So my dad coached on the NBA side for a really, really long time, and so when he was coaching, he was with the Bucks, the Spurs, the Nets, the Wizards, and so he won a couple of championships with the Spurs. And so when they were playing, I feel like I was the only one cheering for the Spurs on the staff, but. At this point with him being out, I like watching the NBA and I cheer for anyone.
So what was that like for you?
No loyalties there anymore.
What was that like for you? Growing up in that environment, and maybe who were some of the folks that you, the players maybe or coaches that you got connected with or kind of have helped kind of mold you along that route?
Yeah. I mean, growing up the way I did with my dad coaching on both, college and professionally, it was such a cool experience. I mean, I'm so blessed for, the experiences that I had, growing up. But I mean, the biggest person who molded me was my dad. I mean, I was in the gym with him. He coached me as a player as far as, we were always in the gym together and, I got my passion for the game from him. So he definitely was, the reason why I am doing what I am doing. It was my dad. 100%.
Your father, Donald David Newman, his nickname is Duck. Why did he get the nickname Duck?
I don't think I've really gotten the true story on that, but that came from his playing days back in New Orleans. So I don't really know, but yes.
Okay, so you got New Orleans roots too.
Yeah, so my entire side of my dad's side is all from New Orleans. My entire side of my mom is all from Montana. So two ends of the spectrum, two different, So I'm all types of confused over here.
All right, do you have a nickname?
Yeah, you know what? They called me Doo-Wop. My dad calls me Doo-Wop. My players, over the years, my players over the years have called me Nunu. So I
like Doo-Wop. I like Doo-Wop.
Yeah.
You might have to get that going. Well, Devin.
That's the end it was. So I just told Wildcat Nation one of the biggest secrets.
Well, Devin, welcome to Tucson. We're looking forward to having you on this staff and looking forward, obviously, to the continued building back of this program to the NCAA tournament level.
Absolutely. And I definitely look forward to seeing Mikhail all, capacity and everyone in there screaming for our kids. So I'm very excited.
There we go. Devin Doo-Wop Newman, one of the new assistant coaches of the Arizona women's basketball team. Devin, look forward to meeting you down the road.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Devin Newman. Looking forward to that for sure. One of the new assistant coaches on Becky Burke's second staff here at the University of Arizona.
Wouldn't it be like duckling?
Duckling? Yeah. Well, that's possible. That
work.
It's
some variation like that
of duck. Yeah, absolutely. That's cool. That's cool. She sounds like a really cool character.
She sounds awesome.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. We'll get your Diamondbacks download in because they've got an early game, 4:45 game coming up in St. Louis, looking to win a series on the road. And our Westwood One top play is also snake related today. Not duck, but snake related. DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With some backups on Speedway Boulevard eastbound approaching and passing Cold Road and some more slowing for westbound Speedway at Craycroft. And collision at Speedway and Park Avenue and Speedway, Camino Seco and Broadway reported as a stalled vehicle. And I'm Cricket, and your weather and extreme heat warning until 8 tomorrow night, 81 the overnight low, 106 tomorrow, 107 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather
This
together.
report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Did you hear what we're talking about?
In full fabulous flow, Pepe down the left-hand side.
It wouldn't be the beautiful game without some full fabulous flow. Christian Pulisic.
Gotta have it, man. Gotta have it.
DK on the Sports Tip, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Presented by Chumba Casino, your online casino for plays, spins, and a chance to score. Must be 21 and over. Terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Last night, the Chicago Bulls selected Caleb Wilson with the 4th pick in the NBA draft. The possibility of a true star for the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls' first since Derrick Rose about 10 years ago. I'm Chris Black.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love. Sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Arizona drivers know June is the calm before the furnace. Temperatures are rising and the intense summer heat is on its way. It's as certain as the next cracked asphalt road or suspension slaying pothole. Just around the corner and coming quickly. But Arizona drivers know that Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the one stop to make sure their car, SUV, light truck, or minivan is road trip ready for this summer's torture test for tires, batteries, brakes, and cooling systems. Just about every part under maximum stress. but mention this ad during June and get Jack Freer's road trip ready inspection at no charge with the purchase of any oil change. A $30 value for free that gives you the inspection information you need to lower your stress before heading into another summer of extreme Arizona driving. And if you already know you need tires or service, come by to the Local's Choice for the most affordable tires and rock-solid guarantees at 14 award-winning locations. Make an appointment online, call ahead, or just stop by. Jack Freer Tire and Auto Care since 1960. We're here to get you there.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Okay, class, let's begin.
Psst, love your boots. I just sold a pair like that on eBay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it took like 2 seconds to list, and they sold almost immediately. I've been selling everything lately. Some chunky boots, a faux fur coat I never wore, and a vintage chair that was more of an expensive clothing rack.
You know, I actually bought these on eBay. Wait, are you Kitty Sell Stuff from Brooklyn?
Okay, quiet, please.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
This 4th of July, celebrate freedom and savings at O'Reilly Chevrolet, selling more Chevy Silverados than any dealer in southern Arizona. And there's a reason drivers choose Chevy. The Silverado is the #1 selling full-size pickup in Arizona for 4 years based on S&P Global Mobility new retail registrations from April 2022 through March 2026. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or shop 24/7 at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Tucson is sizzling in June, but your house doesn't have to. Most HVAC companies talk about trust. Pixrock's Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing puts it in writing. Every repair backed by a 5-year warranty for our Home Wellness Club members. That's not a promise, that's a guarantee. Call us at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at pixrockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Ah, this feeling is brought to you by Aleve for back pain relief. What feeling is that, you ask? Well, it's the feeling you feel when you have relief from back pain. That move how you want to, not how you have to feeling. That keep going through your day without slowing you down feeling. The kind that brings you back to yourself all day long without interruption. Oh yeah. Because Aleve offers long-lasting pain relief. Feel up to 12 hours of back pain relief with 1 dose. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
What an odd game last night in St. Louis for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Garcia's a strike away. Cardinals have now out-hit the Diamondbacks 7-6. The 1-2 from Brayden Garcia. Got him! And the Diamondbacks get the win to even this series at a game apiece, and they get back up over 500, and Brayden Garcia gets his first career save.
Boy, it wasn't an easy W right there, but the D-backs will take it any way they can get it.
Diamondbacks Download. Baseball talk.
A 4-3 win last night over the St. Louis Cardinals under the arch in Missouri, a game in which all 7 runs were scored in the 9th inning. It was a 0-0 game going into the 9th. And then the Snakes, I should say, put up 4 in the top of the 9th, turned it over to their closer, Paul Sewald, who did not have it last night, and allowed 3 runs before Brayden Garcia came on to notch the first save, as you heard from Steve Bertume, of his major league career. It wasn't Kevin Ginkel's fault. He had a great 8th inning going into that 9th inning after Eduardo Rodriguez continued to be Eduardo Rodriguez, allowing just 3 hits in 6 2/3 innings. But not the night for Paul Sewald. Thank goodness for Brayden Garcia at the end of the line to get his first save and striking out the Cardinals' young star, J.J. Weatherholt. So the D-backs will go for a series win tonight. Now, one of the things we saw last night was the first start in center field for Tommy Troy. Now, you'll remember a few weeks ago we got a little bent because Tommy Troy was in left, and it was Waldschmidt. Ryan Waldschmidt was in center, and they kind of did not communicate on a fly ball that dropped in the midst of a losing swing on the road. I believe it was in Miami for the Diamondbacks. So now Tommy Troy is going to be playing some of center field when obviously Corbin Carroll gets a break out there. He was asked what advice he has gotten from legendary Diamondbacks assistant coach Dave McKay.
He's just been reiterating that, I'm ready for it. I feel like I've had a good amount of reps in the minor leagues too, and it's the same. It's the same thing. If anything, it's easier. The angles are a little bit easier, but he's just been encouraging me to be super aggressive and loud and be a leader out there.
All right, so let's. I think it went well last night. I didn't see or hear of any negativity coming out of him playing center field, and I don't think he had any errors, so that's always a good thing.
Well,
so
I mean, he's got to have other people call him off, right?
Yeah. Well, he started in center. Then he later in the game he went to left field when they brought in Barossa to pinch run, and then he went out and played center field at the end of the game.
Now you're a center fielder. You ever have to do anything like that?
What?
Switch outfield positions mid-game?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, now I would sometimes maybe I start in left and go to center. I was kind of like Barossa. I'd start at a corner and go to center field. But if I started in center field, I never really was switched out of that because, of course, I was always the best center fielder.
Out there robbing home runs.
Every team that I ever played on, I was the best center fielder.
Well, there you go. Tip the cap right there.
Speaking of Tommy Troy, let's hear his version of that 440-foot. We talked about the 440-foot home run he hit the other night in the loss to the Cardinals. Let's hear his account of that particular at bat.
I felt light, dude. It felt good. It was just one of those swings where it felt like you didn't even swing. It just felt smooth, felt really sequenced well. I was getting some work down in the cage right before that bat just to make sure I was on time, but also adjustable to off speed too because I knew I was getting spin all game, but luckily I put a good swing on that one.
Yeah, Tommy did not get any hits last night. He went 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout. He's hitting .231 since being called up from AAA Reno. He's got 3 home runs. He has 5 runs batted in. All right, so we saw Brayden Garcia get his first save in the big leagues last night. Tonight, we are going to see a player make his major league debut. The Diamondbacks starter, Mitch Bratt, 22-year-old left-hander, will make his major league debut tonight, starting on the mound for the Cardinals. 5th-round pick all the way back in 2021. He is 1-1 this season in 11 starts with AAA Reno, a 2.84 ERA. So welcome to the show, Mitch Bratt. He'll face Matthew Liberatore, the lefty for the Cardinals. So a couple of lefties on the bump tonight. Liberatore looking to bounce back. He had his worst start of the season against the Royals last Thursday. Gave up 7 runs, 5 earned in an inning and 2/3. They lost that game 14-6. So not what you want there from Matthew Liberatore. Now, Corbin Carroll. We talked a little bit about him yesterday. He's not getting a whole lot of all-star votes. So please vote for Corbin Carroll so he can be on the all-star team. I mean, he's going to be on the all-star team. He's going to get selected, but we wouldn't necessarily mind seeing him in one of those top 3 spots so he can start at the all-star game. I think we've got a top play on Corbin Carroll.
Brad Evans here to help you beat the Brewers. Superclass with more sports. A lefty-on-lefty crime could be committed Wednesday in St. Louis. Arizona's Corbin Carroll is hitting a stupid .394 with over 1,100 OPS against Southpaws. Facing the Cards, Matthew Liberatore, who owns an unsightly 13.50 ERA in his last 2 starts. Carroll over 1.5 total bases is mighty appealing no matter the juice. Bets, monitor, beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
All right, so Corbin Carroll over 1.5 total bases in this game. That's all we need. So all we need, again, is a single and a walk, a double. I mean, we'll take a home run if Corbin wants to do that for us tonight. And it's plus 110. So that's a plus bet there. I think we'll take Corbin Carroll against Matthew Liberatore, especially, again, it's lefty on lefty, so it's not going to be easy. But I'll take over a 1.5 total bases tonight at plus 110. For sure.
Yeah, it looks like only last game out amongst his recent outings has he not gotten that number.
Yeah. Now, we also have another play for you on one of the World Cup games that is happening right now. So you can't bet this. We've already bet this, and apparently right now it's not going as well as expected. We had Morocco to win by 3 or more goals today over Haiti, and right now that game is headed towards the half, tied 2-2. So there's been a lot of scoring in that game down at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, but it's even 2-2 right now between Morocco and Haiti. This is one of the 2 early games on the docket tonight. There are a grand total. There's already been 2 games played, so a lot of games today. There's how many? 6 games today in the World Cup?
Yeah. Well, we got the simultaneous rule going on right now because you can't have it where certain teams play ahead of another in a group, because there has been, surprisingly, if any of you do not know, World Cup has had a lot of history of collusion. So they have to go ahead and play these final games of the group stage with all the groups simultaneously.
And that's because of goal differential.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So there are certain teams that will go ahead and collaborate with other countries to say, hey, we'll win. We'll go up by 2 goals, and then we'll call it off. That way you can advance and we can advance, and then you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
They've been doing this simultaneous ending to the group stage for quite some time now. But the minute that happened, once that finally got caught, I don't want to say that when it finally happened. It probably happened a lot more than when it was actually caught. But since that is the case, they're having a lot of these games now where we're having I believe it's 6 total today, and we'll be having 6 a day until all of the group stages
So I
officially
believe
done.
Saturday is the final day of group play, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It's just the 3rd game everybody's wrapping up.
Exactly.
Also, incidentally, congrats to our brothers to the north. Canada lost today to Switzerland. However, they have qualified, and they got their first ever win. They got their, they only had 2 goals in their World Cup history coming into this tournament. So it's been a really good showing for Canada. And apparently, even with that loss today at 1-1-1, they are qualifying with 4 points onto the next round.
But they will likely not play at home in Canada.
Well, again, no. You don't get home court. You don't get home field at all. But the thing is, like Dragon Ball pointed out the other day, the new rules FIFA's instilled this particular World Cup are really weird because it's no longer the 3rd team. It's the 3rd team from the 8 best pods that move on, and then they're ranked based on their point system and their tiebreakers. So it's going to be semi-confusing for anybody to look at the bracket and see who's going to be playing each other in the next round until all the games are completed.
Yeah, there likely won't be an official bracket where every team is listed and we know the matchups of them until about Sunday morning once all the math and everything has been taken care of. But again, the best part is that for the U.S., they don't need to worry about what the result is going to be for Saturday's game because guess what? Tomorrow's game rather, because they don't need to worry about it because they've already clinched the top of the group. So you win 2, you're pretty much always guaranteed to make it to the next round.
So let's see. Mexico, Canada, and America are the 3 hosts, and they are 5-1-1. Is that right?
Yep.
Hey, not bad.
There you go.
So now the belief is that the United States opponent in the round of 32 will likely be Bosnia Herzegovina.
Herzegovina.
Herzegovina, like Hertz the car. Herzegovina.
Like the frequency of electricity.
Okay, there you go. So they won today by a score of 3-1 over Qatar. I'm still disappointed that Qatar doesn't play better soccer than that with all the money they have.
It's very small. I think it's 7 million. I think there's only like 7 million people in that country, right?
Don't worry. There's a even though Qatar is not making it to the next round, I promise you, I have a story here that you'll be interested in that we had something happen to Qatar that has not happened as of recently in the World Cup.
I gave him too much credit. 3.17 million people in that country.
There you go.
So there's more people in Phoenix.
So we're at the half of the two early games. Morocco, Haiti, 2-2. Brazil leading Scotland 2-0. The 6 o'clock games will be Mexico against Czechia. That'll be back down at Estadio Banorte in Mexico City. In fact, one of my neighbors is down there for that game tonight. And then South Africa and South Korea will play in the
and that's the main
simultaneous
stadium,
game there
right?
as well. Yeah.
That's the one that was
Estadio Banorte. That's
yeah,
where they
it's
played the first game.
ever 3-time host, if memory serves. When they played their first game there, this World Cup, it became the first stadium to ever host 3 different World Cups.
All right, DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290. Coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to hear from Brayden Burries. We will hear from John Horst, the general manager of the Milwaukee Bucks, on why Brayden Burries was the pick in the draft, first round last night. Dragon Ball's here with everything happening in sports in Southern Arizona, as well as sports around this whole entire world.
And with another NBA draft, another set of additions to the long line of Arizona Wildcats who have had their name called on the first day of the NBA draft.
With the 10th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Brayden Burries from the University of Arizona. With the 30th pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Peat from the University of Arizona.
RJ seems to like
and
this
that
pick.
concludes the first round.
Again, with Brayden Burries going 10th overall to the Bucks and Peat landing in Phoenix after a 4-team trade involving the 30th overall pick, they now make up the 6th and 7th picks under the Tommy Lloyd regime to make it in the first round, as well as the 28th and 29th selected in the first round overall for the University of Arizona, and that puts them now 7th for the most first-round selections from a college university in the nation. And I should say that's the 5th and 6th and 7th draft picks overall in the Tommy Lloyd regime, rather. Peat landing in Phoenix keeps him home, where he won 4 state championships in the Phoenix area for his time with Perry High. Now, with no picks in the first round, the Suns moved up 17 spots from 47 to get the rights to Peat, while only surrendering second rounders in the 2029 and 2033 drafts, meaning Phoenix keeps any future first round picks they have and did not surrender any players on the roster in order to go ahead and complete the 4-team train that involved the Knicks, Mavericks, and Lakers to cap off the first round of last night's draft. And going into World Cup play today, Qatar and the rest of Group B finished off their contest today, but FIFA made a strong statement as Asim Madibo was given a 5-match ban following a tackle that broke a Canadian player's leg last Thursday. Again, Madibo was very apologetic after that, but the foul was deemed serious foul play according to FIFA. Again, the ban took effect at Qatar's finale and will be in effect at least for the next 4 international games for Qatar moving forward. Qatar finished today in last place of Group B with 1 draw and 2 losses, meaning their time in the World Cup ends as Switzerland and Canada both advance, with the Swiss team winning the group and Bosnia and Herzegovina now awaiting to see if they will finish in the top 8 of third-place teams. I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
It's DK on the Sports Tip. Did you hear what we're talking about?
$1.5 to $2 million, but you're going to go play in the NBA, or you take the $5 million and you get paid room and board, and you get to stay in the dormitory.
I don't think Peat was ever living in a dorm, hanging out there, but I don't think he was living at Pima. I don't think he was living at Likens. I don't think he was living at Graham Greenlee.
DK on the Sports Tip, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With the collision at Park End Speedway, Speedway Boulevard, and Park Avenue, some slowdowns for traffic on Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells, westbound Speedway at Main Avenue, westbound Speedway at Craycroft, and also roadwork and slowdowns eastbound Speedway approaching and passing Kolb. An extreme heat warning until 8 p.m. on Thursday, 81 the overnight low, 106 tomorrow, 107 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and
This
Weather
report
Together.
is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Download our app. It slaps. Nobody covers Southern Arizona sports like we do. Don't miss out on any of the highlights, stories, and analysis. The flagship home for Arizona Wildcats athletics, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
And now, a no-frills ad sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned straightforward ad. See if you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track!
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero!
Rats!
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya.
Hooray!
That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you!
Oh, no.
Oh, brother. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
Statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health. Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000. Use code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000.
Nobody covers your cats like we do. We are the home of your Arizona Wildcats. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, out number 2 of our 3-hour show on this Wednesday. It is Wednesday because this is my last day of the week. I'm going out on vacation. Fellas, we'll have the show for you the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday, Dragon Ball and JW Madden. And then we'll all be on hiatus next week, and we'll return with more fun on July the 6th, as it'll be Big 12 football media days starting on July the 7th. So we'll be back on that Monday after the 4th of July, and then college football starts officially on Tuesday of that week. I don't think the Wildcats, however, talk till Wednesday, so the Wildcats will be the second day down at Frisco. We will not be in Frisco. That's not the plan. You know, plans always tend to change, but right now we have no plans to be down in Frisco for the Big 12 media days, but we will cover that as best as we can for you from this
July
vantage point.
6th, also coincidentally, is also the first day you can sign free agents in the NBA. So that could be a little bit hectic as well.
All right. I've heard Jaylen Brown's name quite a bit in that respect about guys and where they might be going.
And, of course, where is LeBron James going to spend his last season in the NBA? Wherever that may happen.
Are they going to run it back in Los Angeles, or is he going to go somewhere else?
I've heard LeBron for Mobley.
Yes, that was what I heard, too.
LeBron for Mobley.
You heard me.
That'll be interesting.
Return to Los Angeles for Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley, USC.
Return to Ohio.
Well, it's funny because I was just thinking about it. I remember the COVID year when Evan Mobley played here in front of an empty building at McHale Center, and he was, obviously one of the best prospects in the game at that point. And I was just thinking about when Yaxel Lendebord got drafted last night, and we've talked about his story before. I don't remember. I mean, he obviously played here. He played here several times, twice, I believe, in Tucson when he was at Arizona Western against the Pima Aztecs up at the Pima Gymnasium. I don't know that I was at either of those games. That was back in the day where Pima played the Division I schools. They don't play the Division I schools anymore, so something like that could not happen now, where we would get a chance to see a Yaxel Lendebord, future NBA player. But I cannot remember when I started thinking about it. I was like, I don't remember, even with the Aztecs, I don't remember another player in the years that I've covered Pima basketball, whether it was for the Aztecs or another team, that ended up being a first-round pick in the NBA. He might be the first. I'm not saying there hasn't been. I'm just saying I don't remember another player that came out of the ACCAC to be a first-round NBA pick. I'd be interested to find out if there have been more.
I thought it was amusing when I think it was Bruce Pascoe asked him at one of the Final Four media events his memories of Yuma, and he said it's the worst place I've ever been. Like he's like disparaged. He's like, man, it's the end of the earth. And he had just nothing but negative things to say.
It's like Pullman. It's not the end of the world.
Well, he had like 4 or 5 semi-negatives of things to say, and he's like, but I was grateful for the opportunity. Threw that in at the end there.
It's not Yuma is not Mexico, but you can see it from there.
Yes, you can. You can also see California.
He had some really good games. I'm just going through the box scores right now. He had some really good games. His first game, they won. So in 21-22, they beat the Aztecs twice. He in the first game he played against the Aztecs, he had 26 points and 19 rebounds. That was a game at home. Down in where are they? They're down in Yuma. We just talked about that. Down in Yuma, and then the next game. I'm sorry, that was the second game they played. The first game was actually here in November of that year, and the Aztecs only lost by 1 point. But in that game, he had 16 points and 16 rebounds. So again, this was a pretty good player that was on the floor at that particular time. Now, the next year, so this would have been the 22-23 year, his first game, he had 21 points and 9 rebounds against the Aztecs, so a little bit more pedestrian effort there. And then the second game, which was the road game, I think that was the only game that the Aztecs won against him. They beat him 96-90 here in Pima at the West Gym on January 11th of 2023. And then the second meeting that year, which was on the road down in Yuma, Yaxel Lendebord in that particular outing had, 25 points and 13 rebounds.
We could have made a lot of money last night, Dragon Ball, because there was zero doubt once Brayden Burries was picked at number 10 that Yaxel Lendebord would be the pick at 11. They must have taken 14 seconds out of their 5 minutes. And why would that be? Well, Yaxel's 24, and he's the most ready to come in and be a physical presence in the NBA tomorrow out of anybody in this draft. Steph doesn't have much time left. it was very obvious they weren't going to pick Nate Ahmed, who needs to put on another 50 pounds of muscle before he can even really contribute, at least in the paint. But yeah, DK, I mean, like Yaxel Lendebord is who he is because of that experience and that physical body. I mean, clearly, you just watch highlights from him last year at Michigan and what he's turned into. He's really developed his game since his time at Yuma, developed an outside shot, a really good facilitator. But I mean, there was no doubt, 100% positive that Yaxel would be the pick at number 11 for the Warriors because he was the only guy left among the players that were at that caliber who could come in tomorrow and help out Steph.
And to go ahead and answer your question, DK, have there been any other players from the ACCAC? There's a matter of fact, there's been 3 players selected in the NBA draft from Arizona Western College. And I can tell you right now, I would not have assumed one of these names.
So 3 guys from Arizona Western have been drafted?
So Lendebord counts as 1.
Right.
Rafael Orojo counts. He was selected 8th overall by the Raptors in 2004. And the third guy you may know as Tiny. Nate Tiny Archibald was drafted 19th overall in 1970, and he was apparently a former Arizona Western College player.
There you go. See? All the big names. We go back, Mike Brown and Mesa. There's a lot of big names that have come out of the ACCAC. And made NBA careers.
And like Laxo was a great thing, right? Like he was struggling to get admitted into a 4-year college initially.
And again,
that happens.
Yeah, and again, we talk about, we just kind of to maybe roll it back to what we were talking about in the first segment about Koa Peat. I mean, this is an instance, I think, where you look at him and maybe even the guy that was drafted behind him, we saw early in his career at UCLA, Ade Mora, where NIL worked. NIL worked for those 2 guys. It allowed them, I mean, if those 2 guys come out as sophomores and juniors, maybe they're
Enjoy
not lottery
Hungary,
picks.
fellas.
They're not lottery picks in the NBA, but they both go to Michigan. They win a national championship. They put their game on display, and they end up getting picked in the top 12. So that was an instance of where maybe NIL worked for players in this era.
Well, we all know people develop mentally, physically at different stages. So just because you're taller than somebody when you're both 12 doesn't mean you're going to be that way when you're 18 or 25. And I think the same applies to any sport, but especially basketball, because there's a real steep learning curve once you get among the greats at your position in that particular level, if it's high school, college, or the NBA. And I think that the NIL allows and affords the opportunity, like you just said, DK, for players who aren't developing quite as quickly. The issue being like you shine early doesn't mean you're going to be great later, right? I mean, some people flash early and then they kind of peak out and then they fade away. But other guys, you just don't know. And they're given the opportunities and the chances, DK, to continue that development. If your first blush as an NBA prospect is, you can't shoot, you can't dribble, you're never going to make it at this level. And 2 years later in college development, with all of the extra time, you do work on those things. You do become more of a prospect there at the top of the draft. That's what the NIL is made for. It's for some guys to stay in the college and make the similar amount of money that they would at the top of the first round, but also continue, to work on their game and be a better prospect in the near future.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. Call us, text us your thoughts on the NBA first round last night. Brayden Burries goes with the 10th overall pick in the first round. Cricket joins us now. Cricket. What was it? Cricket? Picket with Cricket?
Picket with Cricket.
Picket with Cricket yesterday. The question was, does Koa Peat go in the first round of the draft? J-Dub, can we play that? Can we play that one more time here so Cricket can hear it?
With the 30th pick in the 2026 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Koa Peat from the University of Arizona.
And that wraps up the first round. So Koa Peat was selected in the first round of the NBA Draft last night. Pick it with Cricket. She's 1 for 1.
You forgot to tell her it was the last pick.
Yeah, it was the absolute last pick of the first round.
Got in there.
The last pick.
Got your foot in the door before they could close
That's
it.
right.
Barely.
I just want to order appetizers, I promise.
So there we go. Pick It with Cricket is 1-1 now. All right. So that in case you hadn't joined us, we just tend to come up with these new things for Cricket to do, just to make her life worthwhile. All right, but every day at 4:12, we take a deep breath and we get into our Zen mode. We put our fingers together, whatever we do here.
Light the incense, Dragon Ball.
Yeah, we can do that. Can we do that here? Will they allow us to bring some incense?
No, they wouldn't allow that.
No.
There's got to be at least one of those.
We're looking
There's got to
for
be one sprinkler in
I
here
don't
at some
think
point.
there
If there's
are
any
sprinklers.
It's kind of hot in here today.
I don't think there are.
No, I think we could maybe light an incense or two. I don't know that Kenny would get upset about that. Maybe.
It's because all the expensive stuff's in this room, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We won't do it in there.
And now, kick it with Cricket.
That too.
Oh, we might kick it with Cricket too.
This is getting outrageous.
That would be your chance to hang out with Cricket on the weekends. Kicking it with Cricket.
That could go really, really badly for you, Cricket.
Oh, I think it'd be fun.
Cricket's got quotes.
Without faith, I'm nothing. I don't think basketball is my purpose.
Ooh.
I think being able to have this platform to spread the gospel is really my purpose for sure. I say amen.
One more time.
Without faith, I'm nothing. I don't think basketball is my purpose. I think being able to have this platform to spread the gospel is really my purpose for sure.
Ooh, I'm gonna take a guess on that one before Dragon Ball gets it right. I'm trying to think of somebody that was basketball that played, but was also very faithful.
There's only the one
in what
DK,
they
and
do.
he played in Los Angeles when you were there. So
Magic Johnson?
No, AC Green.
Oh, that's right, AC Green
became.
AC became a rat. That's right. I forgot about AC. Was very
And he also
was very religious.
was very chaste.
Yes, he was. He never. Yeah, he talked about not doing the thing.
Yep.
With any ladies. Yeah.
He was really strict.
Into his 40s.
He was a man of faith.
Into his
big
40s.
time.
Yeah,
He was.
I don't think he ever.
Is it
has,
AC
actually.
Green?
No.
Is this not just Koa Peat?
Yes, it is. It's Koa Peat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We just got a Koa Peat quote from Cricket.
And he's spreading the gospel
That was
through basketball.
Wow.
Yeah.
He did say that. Now, I think I
See?
have that. I think we have that cut somewhere. I'll have to go find it.
Yep.
I think we have that cut when he said that. As a matter of
I
fact,
think it was in
I
April,
should have
maybe? I
remembered
can't remember.
that.
It was just a few months ago.
Yeah. That's awesome, Cricket.
Well,
that
thank
might
you.
be one of your best ones yet. That one. That
I like that
surprised
one.
me.
I like that a lot.
Yes.
I like to hear that.
Okay, one more
Cricket's
time.
very contextual.
Let's do it one more time.
Context with Cricket.
Yeah.
Context with
Nice.
Cricket.
I sound fancy. Without faith, I'm nothing. I don't think basketball is my purpose. I think being able to have this platform to spread the gospel is really my purpose for sure.
Koa
Peat. Very
Man,
well
all
said.
right.
That's a classic.
That is a classic for sure. Congratulations to Koa Peat, drafted in the first round of the NBA. All right, Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5. She's got your traffic and your weather.
And from the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Talk about a couple of closures for road work. Grant east of I-10 closed until the beginning of August. Maybe you could use Speedway or Miracle Mile instead. And also 22nd Street closed. Tucson Boulevard to Cherry Belle Avenue. An extreme heat warning until 8 p.m. tomorrow. 81 the overnight low, 106 tomorrow, and a 106 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Master stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Nobody covers your Cats like we do.
Headed for the corner, he's in. Touchdown, Arizona. On the break, slap it home. Here comes the throw home. He slides, he's safe. The Cats are champions.
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Broadway in Tucson presents the 2026-2027 season, featuring 6 blockbuster Tucson musicals, including Elf, The Outsiders, The Bodyguard, The Notebook, The Great Gatsby, and more. Add Disney's The Lion King to your package for the ultimate season. Secure your signature package today and get the best seats at the lowest prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and get your 2026-2027 season tickets today.
Look who has extra pep in their step.
Well, I just finished my to-do list. Gas tank is full, tonight's dinner plans are set, grocery shopping is complete, and I even got everything for those barbecues and pool parties we have planned. You know what's even better?
What?
Every one of those stops gets me a bit of money back.
How are you doing that?
By using Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app where I earn cash back on gas, groceries, and dining out. They even gave me a cashback bonus on my first grocery trip.
So that extra pep comes from all that cash back. Looks like I need to download Upside.
You really do.
Earn cash back on errands and everyday essentials. Download Upside and use promo code BIG5 to earn an extra $5 cash back on your first purchase at one of over 100,000 available locations. That's promo code BIG5 for an extra $5 cash back. Remember, use promo code BIG5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Good evening, ma'am. We're the Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team, here for the overnight install of your new AC unit.
Great. Come in. We're so excited for a sleepover.
Oh, well, we're actually putting you and your family up in a hotel for the night. We work while you sleep.
Oh.
Okay, who's ready for a movie night? Popcorn or s'mores?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
No, it doesn't.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Providing overnight installs so you don't miss work or leisure time with your family. GoodfellasAC.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health. Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000. Use code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
So I got something set up from here. Right down. Right spin move down the lane. Turns layup blocked by Burries. Grabs the ball down in the corner and he's fouled with 2.1 to go. Oh my goodness.
Game-saving block there by Brayden Burries. Coming from the weak side, able to get a hand on that ball there. Right at the rim. Looked like he had an easy look and Burries took it away.
Burries' second free throw is good.
Everybody get to a man, realize he's going to be a low percentage shot.
86-83 from backcourt right. Missed it. Cats win. Arizona stays unbeaten. What a game. First of two between Arizona and BYU. Brayden Burries, what a game for the freshman tonight. 19 first half points and puts it away at the free throw line. A new season high, 29 for Burries. Cats win it. They go to 21-0. Second year in a row they win here at the Marriott Center. 86-83 the final.
Was that Brayden Burries' best moment in an Arizona Wildcat uniform? 29 points on offense, the big block to save the Wildcats from what might have been the biggest blunder of their season.
That was
blowing a huge lead down the stretch.
That's not
Provo.
how that happened. The referees, remember the referees calling 3 offensive fouls on Jaden Bradley in the last minute? Yeah, that was not them throwing that game away. That was existential circumstances coming to their doorstep.
But Brayden Burries allowed them to hold on and win that game.
JB made that happen. I mean, JB really played great defense on that play, and the instinctive nature of Brayden Burries to come off his man Dragon Ball just at the right moment to get that block on right, clearly the game-saving play. There's no doubt. As far as we saw JB make so many game-winning shots, so many late shot clock and late game moments, some big impactful shots down the stretch. And obviously that shot versus Iowa State. But as far as a defensive play last season that defined, that changed the outcome of a game, there's no doubt, DK, that Brayden's block there saved that game. Otherwise, they would have lost in Provo.
The most points he scored in a game last season. He also had 28 earlier against Kansas State. He also had 28 at Alabama. So he had some games where he got up there. Never scored over 30. I'm sorry, he did one time at Colorado. The game at Colorado, he had 31 points in that game. But yeah, Brayden Burries played well here and parlayed that into being the 10th overall pick last night in the first round of the NBA draft. Let's hear. It was a short press conference on after the game, but let's hear from Brayden Burries on being drafted number 10 and going to Milwaukee.
Brayden, congratulations. It's a new chapter now in Milwaukee with Giannis Antetokounmpo getting traded. Just how about that pressure and trying to bring that franchise, some success in this new era?
I wouldn't say it's no pressure. I just say I'm just gonna go there, be me, try to be the best version of myself. I put all my trust and faith into my Lord and Jesus Christ, and I just like He's put me in a position to be successful, and I feel like He's giving me the opportunity that I needed, and I'm gonna make the best out of it.
First row on the right.
Alex Kastner, UATV. Brayden, Richard Jefferson was in the crowd. He was really happy with the pick. How does it feel to be joining another Arizona alumni with joining the NBA and keeping that legacy alive?
It's once in a blue moon. I feel like, it's an opportunity of a lifetime. The legends before me, and I'm just trying to get to where they at. And shout out to all the AZ guys that got drafted, and I feel like it's gonna be another one tonight.
Any other questions for Brayden?
And there was another one last night. Peat drafted in the 30th pick, final pick of the first round, making that 2 in the first round. And we mentioned possible chance to get 4. It'd be the first time if they could get 4. First time that would happen since 2001. First time the Wildcats have had 2 in the first round since Tommy Lloyd's first season in 2000.
You're going to see that more often, too, because not only are players staying in college, Dragon Ball, because of NIL, because you have more incentive to come back to school, but also with the transfer portal. You're going to see a lot of guys. You're going to have teams with 4 guys in the first round, 4 guys in the first and second round. Won't be will be a more common thing just because you're talking about guys who are transferring from one school to another with that talent to go and play with other talented players. So Michigan won the championship last year, guys, without a single player on the roster that they recruited, right? All those guys are transfers in. So,
and yet how many of those guys went on to be first-round draft picks
3
in last night's draft?
Well, it was back-to-back Michigan, Arizona, Michigan.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. It was impressive for sure. All right, the Bucks no longer have Giannis Antetokounmpo, as you heard.
What a disingenuous way to start that off. Like, how do you expect to go ahead and bring this franchise back? It's not like they've been struggling for the past 5-6 years. They literally just traded their MVP.
Hey, Dragon Ball, you're a rookie announcer, and you have to replace Marv Albert. How does that make you feel? You got more pressure? You got any pressure because of that? Take a breath. Yeah, I'm telling you, that breath that Brayden Burries had after that question was so perfect. So good.
But no, it's just the way that question is presented. It's almost as if like Milwaukee's been long suffering. It's only due to the fact that they won a championship. They expected to have more, and they didn't. Why? Because they chose to blow up the roster and make some different moves, like we talked about yesterday. But the fact is that Brayden's not going there to be a franchise savior, and that's the best thing for him in that he's going to get a chance to grow and develop into a role on a team that is looking to see who's going to be that next major keystone to the next era of their franchise. Now, Tyler Hero's there. We all know about the trade and everything like that. Well,
it's not official
It's
yet.
not official yet, but the trade is official, but whether or not Hero stays is the thing once we get into the free agency.
In fact, I
period.
had a contact today with the beat writer for the Bucks who's been doing it for 25 years, and he said he wanted to hold off a little bit to see what the roster looked like because we really won't know what Brayden Burries' role is until we know what Tyler Hero's doing and now the other moves. As we said, free agents can be signed up to the 30th, but the actual free agency starts at the beginning of next month, so there's going to be a lot of movement. The rosters are nowhere near solidified for next season.
Right, so it's not as if Brayden Burries has to become a franchise savior on day one, which, again, for his sake as well as for anyone who got drafted
Jaime
today.
Haka's Jr.'s job, right?
Yeah, that's Jaime Haka. Who was the guy I said yesterday that I almost had no ability to say his name? It was like Joe Eunice or something?
Yeah.
That'd be his job. Another difficult name in Milwaukee. That's what is the definition.
I mean,
for
real quick, I know we're going to get to the GM for the Bucks, DK, but you can speak to this because Cleveland, outside of when LeBron James was there, is not a destination city where free agents want to go play. And Milwaukee, you're talking about the Milwaukee fans. They came from Oscar Robertson and Kareem, right? Like they came from success in the 70s, 60s, 70s. It wasn't until Giannis and that obviously lifting that trophy and having that success, but they've always been one of those chip on their shoulder cities where it's not necessarily a place where the top flight free agents want to go and join each other to win a title for the Bucks. So, the whole Giannis headache, obviously he, 12 years?
Yep.
I think he spent in a Bucks uniform. I mean,
a lot longer than Ray Allen did.
My favorite stat, DK, is Giannis is the all-time leading scorer, rebounder, assist person, and has the most steals and blocks in Bucks history. Every single category he leads in.
Yeah, you go from Oscar Robertson and Lou Alcindor at the time, and then you go ahead and you go to Big Dog, Glenn Robinson. Then you had Ray Allen, and I know a couple of Bucks fans that I know in my life, they say that their fandom for the Bucks seemingly died when they traded Ray Allen to Seattle to bring in a guy in Gary Payton that didn't want to be there and made it very public he didn't want to be in Milwaukee. But, hey, I wish Brayden all the best. I know he's going to be in a good spot. He'll be able to really kind of flesh himself out and figure out what his role will be in the NBA, and I'm happy to see that he got drafted top 10 pick.
Well, let's hope so. Was a lot of talk at the end of the season. Obviously, a disappointing season for the Milwaukee Bucks. There's a lot of talk at the end of that season about what the future might be for GM John Horst, and if he'll be there much past this year. Obviously, Doc Rivers let go at the end of the year. John Horst, though, is still there as the GM, and he spoke about, we just mentioned Brayden Burries and that game at BYU where he played a big role at both the offensive end and at the defensive end, and that's one of the things that most excites John Horst about his first-round pick.
Exciting night, exciting few days. Looking forward to taking questions for a few minutes. Before I start, just to be clear, until trades are approved by the league, we're not allowed to comment on anything, and so there won't be any conversations about that. We are excited about the draft. Obviously, 10th pick, we're able to acquire Brayden Burries, Arizona. Really excited about Brayden. 13th pick, we're in principle have agreed to acquire the draft rights in Nate Ament. Also very excited about that. Got a 20-year-old in Brayden, 19-year-old in Nate. Positional size for both these guys, high character, high IQ, just competitive young men that I think are really going to grow forward with us and just really continue to grow here. We thought the guard depth was really, really good in this draft, and frankly, that we would have been excited for a number of the guards. Brayden was a target for us, and we spent time with him early in the draft process. We were able to bring him here later in the draft process. He's a big guard. He's got great length. He's got great size already at 20 years old. Played winning basketball. He's been a winner his whole career. Comes from a great pedigree. His family in San Bernardino. Dad was a basketball player. Mom was a basketball player. just a high character young man that I think has kind of got a quiet competitiveness about him. A very efficient scorer, gets to the free throw line, makes shots, two-way player. We think one of the best two-way guards in the draft. And so there were a lot of guys that we liked, but we were through the moon when we were able to get Brayden. Specific to Brayden, what we like about him in this group, which a lot of, I think, the guards that we have in our group, is versatility. I think trying to have big guards that think the game, that offensively have an impact, that can play on the defensive side of the ball, I think is really important for us. And it's really important for Taylor. I think you all have been able to see the success he's had with players that play like that. And so, again, Brayden's size, I think Brayden's IQ, his competitiveness, and the fact that he plays on both sides of the ball, he's a rookie. He's going to have to work. He's going to have to grow. He's going to have to get the opportunity. But we're excited and we're bullish on his ability to impact early. You all get to spend some time with him and learn and kind of find out for yourself. But very bullish on these guys as humans. I think they're fun. They're intense. I think I said Brayden earlier, kind of a quiet killer, quiet confidence. They're smart. They've been part of winning programs kind of their whole life. They've made independently kind of big decisions on where they went to colleges and why they went and who they decided to play for. These guys chose unique situations to go perform and play their college basketball careers. They both had really great success in arguably in Brayden's case, the best player or second best player, not only on his team, but in the conference. I have my opinions. Nate, best player on his team, and they were really successful. I think these guys embrace a challenge. They have a quiet confidence and a belief in themselves. NBA is hard, so they've made big jumps before. This will be the biggest jump, and we're here to support them and help them grow and build and kind of give them the resources to do that. But it's on them. It's on them, the work they're going to put in, their belief in themselves, how many times they can get back up when they need to. But obviously we believe in them. We made big investments in these guys, and we're excited about it.
All right, there you go. That was John Horst. He is the general manager for the Milwaukee Bucks. There was a lot of guys from the Big 12 that were taken in last night's first round, and he put Brayden Burries right up there near the top of the class of all those guys taken last night.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with the success that Arizona had. I mean, we saw the individual talent that A.J. DeBonsa showed throughout the year. He led the nation in scoring last year, guys. And obviously Darren Peterson with the cramping issues, but when he was on the court, he really stood out. His skill levels are off the charts. Another great thing about him going to Milwaukee, him being Brayden Burries' guys, is that Taylor Jenkins is the new head coach there. Mm-hmm. And he spent the last 6 years with Memphis and John Morant and Triple J and all those guys. But the biggest thing to me is he's a Spurs protege. He came up in the film room with the Spurs, DK, and we all know about the legacy of those Pop disciples and what they bring in the style. So he talked a lot about the length and potential two-way ability for Brayden, but a lot of that Dragon Ball was about his culture, where he comes from, his upbringing, his family, what a good person he is, and that quiet killer mentality. I think those really above, out of control, really exuberant, showing your emotion every single time down the court can get a little bit old, like, the Brooks kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we all know Brayden Burries is always going to keep the same expression, whether he scored 10 consecutive points or had a couple of big steals or whatever that is, or a big assists. He's just out there playing the game, thinking the game, and I think such a great addition to the culture that Jenkins and those guys are trying to build there in Milwaukee.
520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. When we come back, I'm going to tell you who the other player selected in the first round who might have a whole lot of fans here in Southern Arizona to begin his NBA career. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With roadwork on 5th Street Country Club all the way to Wilmot slowing you down, maybe you could use Broadway Boulevard instead. Also roadwork Ajo and Keno, Palo Verde and Irvington. Country Club Road closed under I-10. There is an extreme heat warning in effect until 8 p.m. tomorrow. 81 the overnight low and 106 tomorrow, 106 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
I'm Ruben Cruz. After a car accident, people ask, what is my case worth? It depends on your injuries, the medical care you receive, and the impact on your life. At Cruz and Associates, we build strong cases and fight for full compensation. No fees unless we win. Injured, call Cruz.com.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
Despite speculation before the NBA draft started last night, Celtics star Jaylen Brown was not traded and remains a part of the team. For now, reports say that the Celtics determined that their team was just not good enough, and the decision to tweak the roster was made after the Celtics were eliminated from the playoffs. There's really no going back. The Celtics and Jaylen Brown cannot coexist. I'm Adam Abdallah.
There's enough needless nonsense in the world already. Your phone plan shouldn't add to it. Verizon's new Simplicity plan cuts down on the nonsense in your life. Now there's just one plan, one price. $30 a line per month, even for a single line. And everyone gets our best 5G network. It's a phone plan designed to do exactly what a phone plan is supposed to do. Isn't that a lot simpler? Switch today at Verizon.com or at your nearest store. For new customers, $30 per line includes auto pay and switch discount. Additional taxes, fees, and terms apply. Unlimited data is restricted to on-device smartphone usage. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. Trade every match from the opening rounds all the way to the final. Last week, Portugal was trading at 12% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade could pay out $800 if they win soccer's biggest prize. Want to know where they're at today? Check Kalshi. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code PITCH to get a $10 credit when you trade $10. That's promo code PITCH. Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Must be present in state where it is legal to trade. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. $10 free credit with no expiration. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Arizona drivers know June is the calm before the furnace. Temperatures are rising and the intense summer heat is on its way. It's as certain as the next cracked asphalt road or suspension slaying pothole. Just around the corner and coming quickly. But Arizona drivers know that Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the one stop to make sure their car, SUV, light truck, or minivan is road trip ready for this summer's torture test for tires, batteries, brakes, and cooling systems. Just about every part under maximum stress. But mention this ad during June and get Jack Furrier's road trip ready inspection at no charge with the purchase of any oil change. A $30 value for free that gives you the inspection information you need to lower your stress before heading into another summer of extreme Arizona driving. And if you already know you need tires or service, come by to the local's choice for the most affordable tires and rock solid guarantees at 14 award-winning locations. Make an appointment online, call ahead, or just stop by. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-339-6282. That's 800-339-6282.
At O'Reilly Chevrolet, we know trucks. That's why we're proud to be Southern Arizona's #1 Chevy Silverado dealer, offering a huge selection and great value every day. And when it comes to pickups, the Chevy Silverado continues to lead the way as the #1 selling full-size pickup in Arizona for 4 years, based on S&P Global Mobility new retail registrations from April 2022 through March 2026. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or shop 24/7 at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Good evening, ma'am. We're the Goodfellas AC Rapid Response Team, here for the overnight install of your new AC unit.
Great. Come in. We're so excited for a sleepover.
Oh, well, we're actually putting you and your family up in a hotel for the night. We work while you sleep.
Oh.
Okay, who's ready for a movie night? Popcorn or s'mores?
You know, that sounds pretty good.
No, it doesn't.
Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Providing overnight installs so you don't miss work or leisure time with your family. GoodfellasAC.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-822-1365. 800-822-1365. 800-822-1365.
It's your time to shine. This is Desert Diamond Casino, the spot with Arizona's only hometown sportsbook, the hottest slots and tables, and off-the-charts energy you won't find anywhere else. Here, there's always a fun-filled, action-packed, downright unforgettable night right around the corner. So let your hair down, turn the sparkle all the way up. It's time to live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino.
An enterprise of the Thona Ogden Nation.
On the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
I understand the frustration in the technical because there's two players just battling for position. Oh, my.
And they're still going. Now it's Cunningham and Bonner. And keep in mind, Cunningham and Bonner have history as teammates. Nate Tibbetts out on the floor. Stephanie White out on the floor. And Amy Bonner is telling everybody to go to their benches as DeWanna Bonner hears it from this Fever faithful. It is easy to say there is no love lost between DeWanna Bonner and the Indiana Fever fans.
No love lost whatsoever. That was Monday night out at the Gamebridge Pavilion. Game 1 of 2 in a row between the Phoenix Mercury and the Indiana Fever. A game 2 being played as we speak. It is underway. Fever an early 21-14 lead in this contest. Let's hear real quick here from our guy, Nate Tibbetts, who talked a little bit about the chippiness that we saw in that game the other night.
You know, these are fun games to get in. It got a little chippy in the fourth. You know, I'm sure they'll remember it, and I know we'll remember it too.
Are you trying to get the team refocused after what happened there in the fourth quarter and get everybody back centered in the trend?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a competitive group, a veteran group. They've been around this for a long time. They're not afraid of the smoke. You know, we're going to compete at a high level. And, yeah, you just stay with it and keep playing.
Did you sense tensions kind of boiling up, leading up to that in the fourth quarter, or is that kind of a flashpoint?
I got a lot coming at me. I don't always see. I mean, sometimes I can feel it and see it. Again, two competitive teams going at it. You know, stuff like that happens.
Now, what was it? 6 technical fouls in that game the other night, J-Dub, between those two teams?
Yeah, 4 for the Fever and 2 for the Mercury, if I remember correctly.
And one of the 4 on the Fever side went to the great Caitlin Clark, who's off to a fabulous start tonight. She's already got 11 points in the ball game tonight. But that technical the other night for Caitlin Clark was her 5th technical of the season. So far, she's starting to worry us a little bit. Who's the guy that gets all the technicals in the NBA?
All of them.
Played in Oklahoma City. Was it?
Most recently, it's Draymond, probably, but I think of
Draymond, Dylan.
No, wasn't Westbrook? Isn't he a technical guy too? Westbrook. Yeah. Westbrook is the one.
I mean, the guy lately, if you want to really ask who the most barky at the official and technical getting, not from extracurriculars physically, but from talking, is Luka. Luka gets a lot of texts from talking to the refs. Yeah.
So the rule in the WNBA is 8. 8 technical fouls earns you a 1-game suspension. So she is now just 3 T's away from having to sit out a game, is Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin better be on her best behavior, or she might be on the bench.
Speaking of bench, Caitlin Clark got a technical last year from the bench. She was injured, and she got a technical from the bench in her street clothes. So, yeah, that's what she does.
All right, so Brayden Burries got drafted last night. Peat got drafted last night. But could this guy also have a huge fan base to begin his NBA career here in Southern Arizona?
With the 21st pick in the 2026 NBA Draft of Detroit,
Pistons select Kareem Lopez from Aero, Mexico, and the New Zealand Breakers of the NBL of the NBA.
Kareem Lopez, drafted by the Detroit Pistons, the first ever player from Mexico taken in the first round. And not just Mexico, but Hermosillo, Sonora.
Yeah, Sonora.
Mexico.
Yeah, he's one of us. The fun thing to me is, like, I've been watching quite a lot of films from some of these guys. I'm a huge basketball fan. I know 90% of the players, but I don't watch the Australian Basketball League. So I've been watching some highlights. That dude is going to be so good. He's only 19. He's really got a great amount. He's got great length, but he's really aggressive going to the basket. And I'll tell you what, he palms the ball, and he's mastered the Statue of Liberty, where on the baseline especially, he just holds the ball higher than anybody else can get to and then dunks on top of everybody. Man, he's going to be really good. So, yeah, I could imagine that he's going to have a lot of fans around the old Pueblo for sure.
Oh, yeah. And also, I just want to commend Adam Silver for doing his best to fit in as many different superlatives after announcing the player's name and tripping up in the middle of it, but then still dedicating himself to finishing off all the superlatives to get that thing listed out.
That's the first compliment I've heard Commissioner Silver get in the last 6 months.
In
so
the last 6
congratulations.
months, yeah. So that there's few and far between for compliments going out to Silver, but again, I'm hoping that this guy finds a lot of success for obvious reasons. I mean, there's always been that the NBA, for lack of a better term, it needs stars to fit certain markets. And there's always going to be those certain players that you can promote to certain demographics a lot easier than others. And the Gasol brothers are a great example of that. Ricky Rubio, when he was in his heyday, is a great example of that. The Spanish fan base that the NBA wants to reach out to, they haven't really had a Mexican star that they can do that with. And a lot of it has been related to Spain. You've had, like I said, the Gasols and a lot of players that came from Spain that come here to play in the NBA. Those are the guys that they've had to kind of use to reach out to the Mexican demographic. So if this guy becomes a big star and they can spread out into that market, I wouldn't put it past Silver to have a big say in potentially seeing something come out of that, maybe make reach out to Mexico and try to get some more players developed out in that area as well.
Well, his dad, Jesus, played for the Mexican national team.
Right.
So he comes from that background and upbringing of this is what it takes to get there, do the work, right? And we saw that with Jalen Brunson just recently lifting the NBA championship. I mean, when you have a father figure especially who's around who can teach you the ins and outs of the little things that it takes, I'm really excited about his future. And I'll definitely be keeping a close eye because, I mean, he's 6'9" now, and it probably has like a 7-foot wingspan, really, really long, fluid athlete. So the sky's the limit. He's only 19 years old. Really looking forward to his development.
J-Dub, he is not 6'9". He is 2.03 meters.
Correct. I apologize to our international listeners. The whole feet meters thing, yeah.
Well,
I got to remember where the person comes from.
I'm assuming that mostly comes from his measurements for the New Zealand Breakers.
And it was just great to see the emotion. I mean, in the interview room with Lisa Salters, I was watching mostly the ESPN broadcast. It was also on ABC last night. But the emotion that he showed in being in that room, understanding that, hey, the Eduardo Najera was taken in the second round back in the early part of this century, but no one from his country had ever been taken in the first round of the NBA draft, and he is the first person to have that honor, to have that weight now on his shoulders. Kareem Hiram Lopez Mandaka out of Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico, taken in the first round. If you saw that last night, if you have roots in Hermosillo, Sonora, Mexico, I want to hear from you. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290, what it meant for you to see this historic moment for the country of Mexico, but not only the country of Mexico, but from our side of Mexico, where we have so many people in our community that are from that area.
Can we talk real quick about the broadcasts? So there was a lot of negativity about how they went about the broadcast, but in particular, DK, the interactions between one Richard Jefferson.
And Jay Williams.
It got we get it. Like, it's a huge part of RJ's shtick is how much he hates Duke, how much he hates the 2001 team. He'll never be a Battier fan, never be a Jay Will fan. We get it. Like, we understand it, and I think there's there's time and place, right? I think there's a very loose podcast energy, I think, sometimes. But on the national broadcast, talking about motorcycle accidents and careers not turning out the way you should, I just think they took it a little bit too far in that moment. As a little bit two buddies, two frat boys hanging out at the bar together, stool to stool, Dragon Ball. And I don't know. Kenny Smith, who's used to being the only adult in the room and having a bunch of children barking around him, did his best to clean it up. But I think in that situation, when we're talking about the futures of a bunch of young men getting drafted, that whole 25-year-old Duke hatred that Richard Jefferson has, you could put it aside just for one night.
Yeah, and the sad thing is that that's actually becoming a far more common around other broadcasts for other sports, too, because I think that if anyone's not been paying attention to the World Cup discourse about how Zlatan has been very happy whenever Alexi Lawless is not on the broadcast and very publicly
a lot of back
about
and forth,
it. It's getting to a point where there's certain amounts of that you can go ahead and you can kind of rear in. Richard Jefferson is a guy who's been on ESPN. He's been on that desk for a very long time. And Jay Will as well, although he's more so been on the college basketball side of things. But there's certainly that level of okay, what is our ground rule for how far do we want to go? And I don't think that there was a conversation for that.
It got super out of control, DK, on that side of the broadcast as well when Spike Lee showed up.
Oh, gosh,
yeah. They had 2 segments of just Nick revelry. It was nothing to do with any of the draft picks, just, how excited Spike was.
All right, DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Dragon Ball's here. He has everything happening in sports in Southern Arizona, sports as well around the world.
Well, we got some more changes coming to the University of Arizona softball team. They will be looking for a new hitting coach. Amber Freeman has elected to assume the same position with the University of Texas Longhorns. Now, Freeman has been with the Wildcats the past 2 seasons. She helped Sydney Storton and Devin Netz both win Big 12 Players of the Year award, as well as other star hitters for the Cats. We wish Coach Freeman the best out in Texas, where she will have returning SEC Player of the Year Katie Stewart on that lineup.
So Texas has now stolen not only all the best players in the country, now they're stealing our hitting coach.
They're continuing to take some other people's things in the world of the transfer portal as well now as coaches. And good news for the Diamondbacks is that they're back up to over 500 for the moment after a strong performance early on by Eduardo Rodriguez and the Diamondbacks offense eventually showing up in the 9th inning. Nolan Arenado got an RBI in his old stomping grounds out in St. Louis. The bullpen hung up on a win to go ahead and get that one. The series is now going into the 3rd game today, which currently is ongoing. The first pitch was at 4:45, but this will be the 3rd game of a 4-game set, so there'll be a chance to at least have one of these teams confirm the split today. And with the World Cup and group stage finishing this week, there's still a chance for the USA to go ahead and be one of the top teams. They've already clinched the top group, but questions still arising as it relations to star striker Christian Pulisic. But he did have some good news to share ahead of the team's last contest before the knockouts.
It was difficult, of course, right after it happened. Obviously, it was such a, crazy emotions, such a great start, and being with the team for that first half and then getting a great result. And then I didn't think it would be keep me out any longer, but it was just something that just kind of lingered. And it's been tough, but I was able to support the team and watch them get an amazing result in Seattle. And now just back training, pushing every day so that I can be available for this next game.
So, Christian, you feel you're good to go tomorrow?
Yeah.
Again, Pulisic returned to full training this week, as he said there, after struggling with his calf injury. But while he is confident he can return, he says he's still probably not ready to play a full 90 minutes. Already with wins over Australia and Paraguay, USA will have the top of the group clinched as they go ahead and go to finish the group play with a clean slate and hand Turkey their 3rd loss in this round. I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
It's DK on the Sports Tip. Did you hear what we're talking about?
Let's chat with Seth. You're on DK on the Sports Tip.
I'm so conflicted on if I want this Mammoth team to still succeed or not. I just felt quite disrespected by a lot of these Mammoth fans because I remember those whiteout games when I was a kid. When they gave you something to cheer about, you were there.
DK on the Sports Tip, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. A crash at Shannon and McGee and Shannon with a reported collision. And also Valencia on the west side of I-10, a reported vehicle fire, reportedly a fully engulfed vehicle fire. Valencia on the west side of I-10 and fire crews on scene. An extreme heat warning until 8 p.m. tomorrow night, 81 the overnight low, 106 tomorrow and 106 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Trouble sleeping lately? Upgrade to the great sleep you deserve at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Choose from a curated selection of top brands and let their sleep experts help you narrow it down. They make sleep easy.
Hey, it's David Kelly, DK on the Sports Tip. Don't forget to download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. It slaps. We've got full coverage of the Wildcats, the Suns, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, Pima College. Download the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today.
Tobacco Barn presents the continuing saga of Captain Tobacco.
We now join our damsel in distress tied to the railroad tracks, a victim of high tobacco prices.
Help! Somebody save me!
Never fear, my dear. Captain Tobacco is here.
Captain, high prices are coming down the track.
You'll never stop my high prices. Pardon me while I untie this fair lady.
It's Tucson's only place to save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products.
There, you're free.
My hero.
Rats.
You'll pay no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and save up to another $3 off with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now for you, high prices, I dare ya.
Hooray!
That's why I'm Captain Tobacco, fighting high tobacco prices everywhere.
Captain, I could just kiss you.
Oh, no.
Oh, brother. Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia. Check tobaccobarntucson.com.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
This 4th of July, celebrate freedom and savings at O'Reilly Chevrolet, selling more Chevy Silverados than any dealer in southern Arizona. And there's a reason drivers choose Chevy. The Silverado is the #1 selling full-size pickup in Arizona for 4 years, based on S&P Global Mobility new retail registrations from April 2022 through March 2026. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or shop 24/7 at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Tucson is sizzling in June, but your house doesn't have to. Most HVAC companies talk about trust. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing puts it in writing. Every repair backed by a 5-year warranty for our Home Wellness Club members. That's not a promise, that's a guarantee. Call us at 520-492-0748 or make your appointment online at picturoxcooling.com.
Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
From work to errands to family life, your car takes a beating. At Recon Auto Detailing, we don't just protect it, we maintain it.
They installed my ceramic coating in shop, and now their mobile team keeps it looking brand new, right in my driveway.
Ceramic coatings, PPF, tint, all installed professionally at Recon Auto Detailing. And with our mobile detailing, we keep that fresh, protected look mile after mile. One-stop shop, zero hassle, that's Recon Auto Detailing, Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, $6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the four walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus Media Station. The Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com. We are your home for Arizona athletics. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
8 Big 12 players taken in the first round of the NBA draft. This guy at the very top.
Let's send it back to the podium to find out who is the number 1 pick.
With the first pick in the 2026 NBA draft, the Washington Wizards select Anise Dabansa Jr. from Brigham Young University.
Anise Dabansa Jr., also known as AJ, the first overall pick. And that's why a lot of people think the Washington Wizards won this draft with that pick right there. Let's hear from AJ on being the number 1 pick and repping his town, Boston, Massachusetts.
Being the number 1 pick it meant a lot to me. Obviously, me being number 1. Throughout all my high school career, I definitely wanted to be a staple to be number 1 pick in the NBA draft and be in the same conversation with LeBron James, Cooper Fly, Allen Iverson, guys like that. And to be a staple in Boston, I just try to put on for my state. Brockton bred, 508. I do everything for them. I like, helping back in the community and just kind of giving kids hope. There's a lot of kids that play basketball out there and think that they can't make it, but once they see me, they're like, okay, they might have some hope. It doesn't have to necessarily be basketball, but anything they do, if they want to be a doctor, an engineer, anything, I just try to be their role model.
I know you just recently visited D.C. What did you think of the city, and do you have any message for the fans of the Wizards that you're about to play for?
It was amazing. Obviously, I landed, got to meet the staff, got to see the facility. It was great. Recently went to a Mystics game when they played the Liberty. They actually won. I think I might have been some good luck. But I'm just super excited to all DC fans. I'm super excited to get there tomorrow and just so ready to work. Summer League coming up soon. I'm just ready to work.
Worcester, New Bedford, Brockton, Framingham, the 508. Did you know that Boston's area code was the 508?
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
Yeah, my dad and my sister went to school. I went to both their I went to a lot of graduations in Boston. Do you know who the best player born and raised in Boston to play in the NBA is?
Who?
One of the bad boys.
Ooh.
The baddest
one of the
bad boys.
Would that be not Bill Lambier?
Bill Lambier. So Bill Lambier scored 13,790 points in his NBA career, the most by far. Dana Barros is in second. He played a lot of his career off the bench. So all that Anise Dabansa has to do in his NBA career, DK, is score 14,000 points, and he's going to be the all-time leading scorer of Boston-born players, which is surprising. There's not a long list of guys you would think with the history of success they've had there that would, be motivation for a lot of guys Dragon Ball coming up to play that way. But, yeah, Dabansa fast on his way to becoming the best player out of Boston in the NBA.
All right, we are about to start round 2 of the NBA draft. We will not have all the picks for you, but we will let you know as soon as any Arizona Wildcats come off the board and go from there. Jaden Bradley potentially, Tobe Awaka possibly, Henry Vasar is likely going to see his name. I would think we might see Henry at the top or near the top of this round here.
He's the second most best available player according to most.
There you go.
Knicks are what they're saying.
Let's take a call right now and chat with our guy, Paul in Phoenix. You're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
How you guys doing today? How's
Good,
everything?
Paul, how are you?
Real good, real good. Hey, a couple things on the whole draft thing. I was sad because by the time that Koa Peat was selected.
You were asleep.
Well, no. They kind of cut the show was done. It's like, either they went over or whatever, and everything kind of ended abruptly, and it's like,
well, there's a reason. The reason for that is because Koa was not invited to the green room. So a lot of the guys towards the end of the draft, they didn't have interviews with them. They didn't have baby pictures for them because they weren't present.
Right. Okay. Well. Okay. So how about this? Let me do some more griping. How about that? 2 more gripes. Can the NBA please do something? Again, I'm not saying the NFL's right. Okay, but can the NBA do something with this whole? The guy takes up his hat and he's wearing somebody else's hat, and then he later gets traded. They got to fix that. That's either get rid of the hats or just say no. The trade was made. Here's the hat you're going up with. Now, in Koa's case, he would have had to juggle 3 hats, obviously, I guess, what was going on with him. But there's got to be a way to fix that. And then as for the sound, they had so many things going on at the arena where it was Madison Square Garden, right? It was the background noise was just overwhelming sometimes. Like, come on, you guys got to fix that too. So, what can you do? I'm not, again, the NFL, they got 200,000 people. I'm sure there at the NBA draft there was probably 20,000 people. That's just me griping. But I will say this, okay? A.J. DeBonza, he's going to be a good pro, okay? But the guy who I think, and this is just, I don't know, I'm probably wrong, but I really like what the Bulls did. I like that Wilson kid. I'm telling you, there's something about that kid. I don't know why. There's something about that kid. I think when it comes to pro basketball, I think he's going to be a baller. I think he's going to do some things that I don't think people really realize how good he is.
Yeah,
and I may be wrong, but you know.
You're right. I mean, he's so fluid, especially for his size. And I think Caleb Wilson didn't get quite the national attention simply because North Carolina had another down season. If you saw North Carolina in the top 5, top 10 in all the AP rankings, then you would have heard a lot more about Caleb Wilson. But coming into the season, he was the 4th or 5th rated prospect in that class. I mean, people knew what he was about. And obviously the injury late. And, he shared time with Henry Vasar in that backcourt. So they're 2 different styled players. But I think you're 100% right. I think Caleb Wilson has a crazy ceiling. And if given the keys and has some freedom to develop into one of those, 6'10", point forward type guys, because he has that style of game, I just think the sky's the limit. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so for the young man. Now, as far as looking into the future down the road, maybe even next year's draft, we could all be sitting around going, "Wow, we got 2 guys in the first round, possibly." Well, you think about it, maybe even 3. You think about it with Krivas and Yvonne, and I can't remember the new freshman who may be a one and done kid.
Caleb.
Is it Holt?
Caleb Holt.
Yeah, Caleb.
Holt. Okay.
Another Caleb.
So that's another Caleb, exactly. Another possibility. But it's still fun. I'll be walking in there here in a little bit and checking that out. I stepped outside and got
Why
to
do you
grill
think
up
there was a run on? We always wonder, like, where all these Calebs why was there a run on Caleb names 19,
There's
20
going to be so
years
many
ago?
Braylons in the next 10 years, bro.
A lot of Jalen.
Parents name their kids crazy these days.
Was there a Caleb of some? There was no Caleb sports, big time Caleb sports guy in the early 2000s that I can remember. But.
Well, remember, David. All the Davids and the Pauls were taken back in the 60s.
That's true.
And then the JWs, they were taken probably somewhere in the 70s. So they just everything's just our names will come back, David. They will. They'll come back. I really believe that. I think they'll come back.
You know what my favorite hat changer was? Kobe with the Hornets hat.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you're right. That's
Kobe
true.
wore a Hornets hat on the stage after being drafted. But we all know it was a prearranged trade for Vlade Divac with the Lakers, so obviously he never suited up for them. But there are pictures out there of Kobe Bryant wearing a Hornets hat on draft night.
Can you imagine? That's pretty cool. And who was it that they had? Was it Jefferson and Williams? They had them sign their Topps card. That was kind of a cool moment. That was great. So and that card's going to end up on one of your Wild Card Wednesdays,
maybe,
David. Open that bad boy up and go, wait a second, I'm keeping this one for me. No, so hey, and you know what? The good thing is, I'm going to give you guys next week off, okay? Because
Thanks,
I want
bro.
you to have a good week off.
Oh,
okay?
thanks.
I know. I just found that out. We just decided you guys take the week off because then after that, you know what? It's on.
Yeah.
It's on. I know that somebody, the boys from facilities were out there working on the lighting system at the stadium. They were doing something, and I don't know if that's part of the lights or if it's part of sound system, but they're out there working it. They better get our stadium ready for us. It's going to be
74 days.
It's 74. See, there you go. It's going to be a
days.
fun one.
Yeah.
Good old, yeah. So, hey, guys, enjoy your time off. It's well deserved, and we'll hope that I sure hope Tobey gets picked. He probably somewhere in like the, what do you think, late 40s maybe if he does.
We're seeing like 49, 50, 51 for both JB and Tobey right now. But I'll tell you what. If he doesn't get drafted, I guarantee you less than a minute later, he's going to have a roster spot on a summer league team.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
Regardless,
that kid's a worker. They're both workers. They're both workers. That's the thing. That's the nice thing. I've got a nice motor, and they will come in and lead and be leaders when they do a summer league type of
if anybody
appearance.
watched the NBA playoffs this year, Dragon Ball, I would think that physicality would be at a premium because that was just about as physical an NBA playoff run as we've seen in recent memory.
Yep.
So Tobey should have a roster spot somewhere if GMs knows what's good for them.
At the very least, we will definitely see him in the Vegas Summer League for sure, playing a couple of games in that.
That'd be kind of fun. Now, and I'll just leave you with this. David Kelly, don't forget. Remember, you got to still talk to your people back there. December 5th, Madison Square Garden. You got to be there, remember? You're supposed to be there for the St. John's game.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona St. John's. So tell your people when you're on vacation. Send them an email when you're on vacation on the beach somewhere.
I got to see a game at Madison Square Garden for sure.
Have you never seen? I've never seen one either. You've never seen one?
I've not. No, I've never been to a game at Madison Square Garden.
I think all of us, the four of us, need to go. Let's do it.
I've been to games at both Yankee Stadium, but I've never been to Madison Square Garden.
You got to tell the people. So, hey, you guys enjoy your weekend, and as always, bear down. We'll talk to you later. Thanks
Appreciate
again.
it, Paul. Thank you so much. Speaking of you mentioned the pick of the Chicago Bulls there. They had a couple of picks in the first round. They also had the 15th pick, which, believe it or not, was the final piece of the trade of Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
Back in 2021.
I mean, the Oklahoma City Thunder are still cashing in on their tickets from the Paul George trade, which was like 6 years ago. So they really add some of those some of those pick packages that they put together are just extended. And you got to think that the rules are changing, but it used to be protected picks. So if you had a pick in the 1 to 10 range, then the team would retain it. Otherwise, it went to the person you traded it to. So some of those picks just last a long time past the initial trade.
Yep, and talking about protected picks, Zubac and the Pacers, we just saw that with this year's draft and everything else like that. Now, it gets to a point, DK, where a lot of these trade packages and the residuals that follow from it's almost become a countdown to when is the last day for who's the Mets player that always gets paid at the middle of the year?
Oh, Bobby Bonilla.
The 25-year, $25 million contract.
I can't say the name because my dad gets mad when I hear about it. But it almost gets to a point
where shall not be named from the Mets.
Right, but it almost gets to a point where you start to count them down. Like, okay, is this going to be the last year? Nope, they still got this one. Nope, we still got this residual, and it might not even be something that big. It might just be a second-round pick. But at the same time, we're still talking about this trade.
Well, didn't the Knicks get 3 second-round picks last night?
Yep,
for that Peat swap?
For the Peat swap, and then but it's stuff like we're still talking about like the Luol Deng trade still has some value to it or something of that nature. And that's sadly some of these players. That's the real saving grace of why their name is still remembered over the fact that they're still talking about in that trade.
Obviously, that was the pick that sent Lowry to the Cavaliers from Chicago, and then in turn, the Cavaliers a year later traded him to Utah, his current home.
I kind of wish that front line had stayed together.
Oh, yeah.
The 3 7-footers with Lowry at the 3. Yeah, and Garland was just getting started. Like, Garland got drafted around that same time. So that was a fun team to watch. Not that the Cavs aren't fun now, but that was a fun front line to watch with those 3 young big guys.
DK on the Sports Tip, 520-848-1290. We're going to talk some soccer coming up. World Cup tonight. El Tri de Color is Guillermo Ochoa's Memo. Going to be in the goal tonight for El Tri. We'll ask Ted Prozelski all of that and more straight ahead. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5 with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With a collision at Shannon and McGee and Shannon, wreck reported there. Crash Valencia to the east of Cardinal and westbound, slowing on Valencia, approaching Cardinal. Valencia, eastbound I-10 at the Valencia off-ramp. That was a vehicle fire and a little bit of slowing there at the eastbound I-10 Valencia off-ramp. And for your weather, an extreme heat warning until 8 tomorrow night, 81 the overnight low, 106 tomorrow, 106 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Red Wing Shoes and Boots, purpose-built footwear for work done right the first time. Come visit our Oracle and Auto Mall and Broadway and Alvernon locations. Ask about the ultimate fit experience. Red Wing, get the right boot right here, as tough as the people who wear them.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. Paige Beckers won the WNBA Rookie of the Year award last season, but her Dallas Wings finished at the bottom of the league standings with just 10 wins. The franchise has now entered a new era, thanks to some reinforcements. Under first-year head coach Jose Fernandez, Dallas already has 11 victories and just 6 losses after their overtime road win against the Seattle Storm on Monday night. Beckers led the Wings with 27 points. She's been reunited with her college teammate and fellow top pick AZ Fudd, who had a breakout performance. The first-year guard scored a career-high 26 points as Dallas grabbed their 5th road victory of the season.
Yeah, just being aggressive, reading what the defense was giving me. My teammates are playing incredibly well, making it easy for me, spacing the floor, giving me great passes, giving me good looks as well.
The Wings are back in action Thursday night for a road game against the defending WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Maggie Gray on Westwood One.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Knock, knock, Capital One Bank guy.
Wow, Charles Barkley?
I just moved into the neighborhood. Can I borrow some Wi-Fi?
Sure, Chuck. That's what the Capital One Cafe is here for, open 7 days a week.
Oh, can I use your ATM? My dog walker only takes cash.
Anything for a neighbor.
Can I try the catchphrase?
Sure, take it for a spin.
There's no fees or minimums on Capital One checking accounts.
Nice, Chuck. I'll take it from here. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Visit CapitalOne.com/bank guide for details. Capital One and name member FDIC.
Now that Wendy's has these new biggie deals, everyone in the family can get what they're craving, from nugs to JBCs. The parental units can get an $8 biggie bundle, the eldest who think they're so grown can get a $6 biggie bag, and the little one who can do no wrong can get a $4 biggie bites. You know, assuming they have a credit card. No, I'm kidding. We take cash too. 4, 6, and $8 biggie deals for the whole family. Only at Wendy's.
Price and participation may vary. Single items at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska, California, and Hawaii.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's renter's insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the 4 walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Life's busy. Errands, kids, work, the I-10 grind. Who's got time to sit at a detail shop?
That's why Recon Auto Detailing comes to me. Mobile detailing keeps my car spotless without losing a minute of my day.
From mobile washes to in-shop ceramic coatings, tint, and paint protection, we're Tucson's one-stop shop for keeping your ride looking new. Convenience, care, confidence, that's Recon Auto Detailing. Ceramic Pro West, Tucson.
Advantage Air Mechanical, the team you can trust. Call 792-9400.
When it comes to the comfort and indoor air quality of your home and office, Advantage Air Mechanical has you covered. Breathing healthy air and having reliable air conditioning is important. If you or someone you know is in need of air conditioning services or a new system installation, we are here to help. Advantage Air Mechanical, 792-9400. AZROC 214570.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000. Use code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000. Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Paid for by Adaptive Health. Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong?
I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000. Use code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000.
DK on the sports tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
El Tricolor is on the pitch tonight in the World Cup.
Julian Quiñones looking across. Target was Jimenez. Kim sprawling out. He spells it. It's turned in. Luis Romo is broken through. The Chivas player scores in the World Cup.
That came late in Mexico's last game to get them a 1-0 win. You know what that means? That means we have essentially meaningless soccer the next two nights in terms of the two teams that we follow here in southern Arizona. No need to win for either El Tri, no need to win for the U.S. men's national team because both teams are going to be in the knockout run. The only questions left are, one, is Guillermo Ochoa, the legendary goalkeeper for the Mexican national team, who is in his sixth World Cup. If he may start tonight, there's been rumors that he will start tonight ahead of Raul Rangel, who's been the starting goalkeeper for the Mexican national team L3 in the first two games against South Africa and South Korea. And then tomorrow night, will Christian Pulisic play for the United States? He has been out injured for the first two games in this World Cup. I think we got some news on that today, did we not, Dragon Ball?
Yes. Christian Pulisic says that he will be looking to go ahead and get himself in as the starter for them, as the star striker mentioned earlier in the top of the hour update. Now, he does say that he probably won't be able to go ahead and do the full 90-minute game, which, again, considering
calf,
that,
right?
Yeah, it was a left calf issue. And considering that the U.S. has already clinched the group, they have no real reason to go ahead and have Pulisic have to play the full 90 minutes. It'll be a good opportunity for them to go ahead and see him and get him ready for the knockout stage. As, again, now we're getting to that point now where it's finally set in stone. The U.S. will advance, and whoever wins is going to advance to the next round. The next guy that loses will be out. So that'll be good to see for them. But that being said, they've been doing well without Pulisic. So that's going to raise the question of how much do they rely on Pulisic in terms of their formations going into the knockout stage.
All right, so we'll see exactly what happens with those two. And again, that don't need to win, but still meaningful opportunities to get other people on the pitch. Memo is third on Mexico's all-time list of cap appearances. He has 153 caps, by far the most among anyone that's ever played the goalkeeper position for El Tricolor. So important, I'm sure, from a fan standpoint, to see him play again in his 6th World Cup. I mean, he's appearing. He's on the team for his 6th World Cup. I believe this would be the 4th that he actually played in, because I don't think he played in the first one that he was ever on the team, as he was a young player at that time. That game is coming up at 6 o'clock tonight, 6 o'clock. If you're going to be out watching the game tonight, want to hear where you are watching it, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Now, go ahead, Gina.
15 times El Tri has been in the knockout stage.
15 times.
That's a lot.
Yep.
That's pretty much every single one.
Every single World
the
Cup.
The U.S. 8 times, but only 1 win in the knockouts for the U.S. team.
The United States, on the other hand, also, they don't necessarily need to win tomorrow night to get in, but they'd like to win to secure maybe a higher seeding as they go into the knockout stage. We mentioned Christian Pulisic, who will likely play for the United States tomorrow. Get him some run, get him his legs going for whatever happens once the next round of games comes on. The knockout stage starts on Sunday, by the way. So pool play will go through Saturday. Now, one of the players we talked about at the beginning of the tournament, but we hadn't really gotten into, is Chris Richards. And he's a defender for this team. I believe in the first game, the first match, he had like 83 out of 83 completed passes, which is like it's absurd to think, well, one, you'd have that many passes in a game. But to have completed every single one of them, that meant that all 83 times he touched the ball and passed it to another teammate, it did not get tipped, it did not get intercepted, nothing of that sort.
To the greatest relief of U.S. soccer fans, because if you watched them play 20 years ago, it was all long passes and let's hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just kick it out there and see if somebody can run into it. That was the style for the longest time. They've adapted much more of that Barcelona-style short passing game. They call it tiki-taka, and the idea of completing short passes, DK, that in the triangle format, if you're familiar with any levels of soccer setup, it's always triangles. So in those triangles, completing those passes, and coming from, Dortmund, which is one of the best teams in the Bundesliga, clearly like he's required to make those short passes consistently, so he's used to it. Yeah, Chris Richards is a pro.
All right, Chris Richards, I should say not Richardson, but Richards, a very interesting story here. We talked last week with John Perlman about the fact that the United States team is very international. There are a lot of players who grew up in Europe. Balogun is one of those. Grew up in England.
Is it?
And Anthony is another.
Grandparents, right?
Yeah. Well, grandparents.
It's not
military parents.
No. But I mean, like the cutoff for any international competition is if one of your grandparents was from that country, then you can then be a citizen. You can have a dual citizenship and then play for that country in the World Cup or the Olympics.
Exactly. One of those players who does not fall under that is Chris Richards. He actually was born here in the United States, grew up here in the United States, grew up in Alabama. He's the one you see kind of in the back, has the big afro biracial young man here from the southern part of our country. It talked about at times growing up and being, again, talking about Alabama here, where there's probably not a lot of black folks playing soccer down in
Football
Alabama.
country, right?
Exactly, football country.
Football.
Being one of the only black kids playing soccer in Alabama.
I felt like an outsider because I was the only kid that wasn't playing, football. But it wasn't just that. It was that I was the only black kid that was playing soccer, And I think that was one of those things where growing up, I always felt like an outsider because of the sport I was playing and the fact that I looked like I do in the sport that I was playing. And when I finally came to Europe, it was one of those things where, of course, you always hear about it being the world's game, and you don't really think about it until you are around people who aren't from where you're from. But we're all kind of collectively doing something, which is kicking this ball around, and they look like you, or they have some of the same interests that you have. And I think for me, that was the most beautiful part, was that I finally was seeing people that looked like me playing the sport that I loved. And it was, like you said, full circle moment that I finally felt like I wasn't an outsider. Maybe I was an American in Germany at one of the biggest clubs in the world, but strangely enough, I felt home.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think, again, he went over to play at Bayern Munich, one of the best clubs, dragon ball, in the world, to have that experience, but then to be able to go over to Europe and really play this game at the highest level is truly impressive.
Oh, no, it's good to see that top-level American-born players are playing in these other leagues that are across the world, whether it be the Premier League, the Bundesliga, Liga BBVA. There's all these great spots that have the quote-unquote the best of the best in regards to soccer talent, and have Americans actually being in those. It's normally you would only see like, okay, there's a Portuguese guy playing for Real Madrid. There's Brazilians playing for Barcelona. There are all these different, nationalities from other places besides the U.S. You didn't see Americans on the international stage when it came to those high-end, very, very well-renowned clubs. Seeing that the U.S. now has those kinds of players playing at those levels shows that there is an improvement to the overall quality of soccer in the world. But it's a small step to them getting to the level that they want to, because the one thing that other countries would always kind of clown on the U.S. when it came to World Cup time is that the U.S. initially with their logo, they would put stars on it. And the other countries would mention you only get a star when you win a World Cup. So you need to take those off.
It's just the same conversation we've always been having.
Mm-hmm.
What if Barry Sanders was a striker?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, when you're in high school, David Kelly, do you get to go out with the head cheerleader if you're the best soccer player? Not
Right.
most high schools. It's the football, the quarterback on the football team. So we all know that most American families give their children the grace and ability to play whatever sport they love, right? You go find your loves by playing football, baseball, basketball, and all the sports until you narrow it down and really dedicate once you get to your 14, 15, 16 years into the one sport, and then you get to college. In soccer, and it's the same thing in gymnastics and a lot of the international competition, if you don't dedicate all of your focus to being great at that thing from a very young age, you can't get to that international competition. So almost every country we think of, France, Germany, Netherlands, Brazil, Argentina, obviously, all those countries, those guys, Dragon Ball, are started at 11 and 12 on the path to becoming national players on the national team. And it's just not the same culture in America, because athletes and those other sports are superstars, are world famous. They make trillions of dollars. It's just the way that it is in America, where soccer is the fourth option
Fifth,
a lot
maybe,
of times,
yeah.
maybe. And so it's rare to see a guy like Chris Richards, who legitimately is a world-class defender on that level, who dedicated his life from an early age to pursuing just that, and to not try to go snag, balls in the outfield, or try to get, run a tight out route, or those kind of things. And that's what it will take in the future. Is America's got infinite great athletes come from America. There's just so many other options for paths for them to take that don't lead them to the World Cup.
And locally, too, because, again, the MLS only recently got its super popularity in the last couple of years. A lot of kids aren't growing up watching soccer because they have the NFL, they have the NBA, they have Major League Baseball, they have hockey. they don't have MLS TV deals.
On that point, any 12-year-olds that live in Miami right now, we should go check out because those guys are going to be inspired, by the world's greatest soccer player who's been playing down there.
I want to go see
years.
Messi and be like him when I grow up.
Let's hear from Chris Richards on being kind of that the torch carrier for people of color playing soccer here in the United States.
It's something that it's kind of hard to fathom because I'm not necessarily doing this to be inspirational. I'm doing it because I love it. But if in the process of me doing something that I love, I can inspire people from where I'm from or people who just see something in me that they want to have them in themselves or that they do have in themselves, I think it's amazing. It's a dream come true. I think I don't just speak for myself. I speak for everybody on the national team that we understand that this is a chance to change how this sport is looked at in America forever. And when you think about the last World Cup, you think about how it birthed the MLS. And now we have a chance to hopefully take it one step farther. And on top of that, hopefully be very successful and be lifting a trophy by the end of the summer. So we're super excited for this opportunity. We understand that it takes good performances and it takes inspiring performances to ultimately get people up off their feet. But that's exactly what we're planning on doing.
And again, I mentioned the diversity that is this U.S. men's national team. Of the 11 starters, in any given game, 9 have some type of African ancestry attached to them. It's one of the things that Chris Richards likes about this current squad representing the United States.
I think this is exactly what the national team is supposed to look like. We're a country full of immigrants. We're a country full of different identities, different religions, different accents, different walks of life, and I think it's amazing being able to be a part of this. Not saying that national teams before us haven't had this kind of combination of everything, but again, we have a South American coach. We have players from all walks of life. We have physios from all walks of life. We have staff from all walks of life. And for me, again, it's crazy because as a kid from Alabama, you're never thinking about what somebody from Japan's doing, and how one day you're going to cross paths with them. But we have a physio who's from Japan, and it's beautiful. It's the sport that brings the world together, but also hopefully we can be the sport and the people that bring this country together at the same time.
Chris Richard, one of the stars of the U.S. men's national team that will play its final pool play game on Thursday night. DK on the Sports Tip, one more segment to go before we wrap it up. The NBA draft is going. We're at pick 35. San Antonio's on the clock. Trevin Brazil from Arkansas is the pick. We'll give you all the picks so far in the second round. Straight ahead, Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Valencia east of Cardinal crashed there, westbound slowing on Valencia approaching Cardinal. Valencia at I-10, that was a vehicle fire at the eastbound I-10 Valencia off-ramp. And a crash clearing Shannon and McGee and Shannon. Extreme heat warning until 8 p.m. tomorrow, 81 the overnight low, 106 tomorrow, and 105 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
Around Tucson, you've probably seen Cruz on the road across our community. Because Cruz isn't just another law firm, we care about this community. And when one of our own is injured in an accident, we can help. Call 520-567-8000. Cruz and Associates, a firm you know, help you can trust.
This is a Westwood One Sports Minute.
It was a pretty drama-less NBA draft last night as the first 4 picks went as most expert anticipated. BYU's A.J. Debonsa went first overall to the Wizards. The Jazz selected Darren Peterson. Duke's Cam Boozer is headed to Memphis. And North Carolina's Caleb Williams is on his way to be the second Caleb to Chicago. The next step, NBA free agency begins next Tuesday night. I'm Adam Abdallah.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
At O'Reilly Chevrolet, we know trucks. That's why we're proud to be Southern Arizona's #1 Chevy Silverado dealer, offering a huge selection and great value every day. And when it comes to pickups, the Chevy Silverado continues to lead the way as the #1 selling full-size pickup in Arizona for 4 years, based on S&P Global Mobility new retail registrations from April 2022 through March 2026. Find us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or shop 24/7 at O'Reilly.com. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000. Use code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000. Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Your business isn't a science experiment. And at Cumulus Digital, we never treat it like one. You shouldn't have to pay an agency to test theories on your dime. At Cumulus Digital, we don't speculate, we execute. Our proven framework delivers results 25% better than industry standards. Visit cumulusdigital.com, fill out our form, and move from guessing to knowing.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, helping you beat books with Westwood One Sports.
taking a look at the pro basketball futures market to win next year's Rookie of the Year. And the player that stands out to me is the point guard that Sacramento drafted at 7th overall out of Arkansas. You know that he's going to take a million shots, microwave scorer. I think he has a big statistical season. I like him for Rookie of the Year. Bet smarter and beat the books. Download the BetMGM app today.
DK on the Sports Tip. Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, our friends from the BetMGM network, BetMGM, no longer network, Westwood One, in cahoots with BetMGM. That was Nick Costos from the morning show. He says Darius Acuff, NBA Rookie of the Year. Darius Acuff opens.
What's that, the 12th point guard that they've drafted in the last 6 years?
Darius Acuff opens as number 4 overall at plus 450 at BetMGM.
Well, their best player is Sabonis if he's healthy, and he's a passer. He's looking to facilitate. So you look at a guy like we saw Acuff in the NCAA tournament last year, up close and personal, and you talk about a guy who's ready-made to go and try to get buckets. Acuff is going to, like they said there in that update, DK, he's going to get his shots. So the question just becomes, like, his outside shot's been a little questionable, but as far as him being physically ready, and he's got that quickness and really, really tight handle. So I would not be surprised. He's going to get the most opportunity outside of guys like at the very top, Boozer, Nabonsa, and Peterson are going to get some looks as well.
The favorite right now is Cameron Boozer, plus 250 at BetMGM. So all of these are plus bets right now. AJ Nabonsa and Darren
draft.
Peterson at plus 400. Darius Acuff at plus 450. Brayden Burries right now at plus 5,000. So if you put that $12.90 on Brayden Burries to win NBA Rookie of the Year, you're going to get back $657.90. Take a bet on your boy, Brayden Burries, to win Rookie of the Year.
Probably going to be Terrence Reed, though, if we're honest, because the Spurs have won 4 consecutive, so it's just the Spurs award at this point.
Peat is plus 15,000.
Pete is third string power forward right now, so I don't think he's going to maybe.
I like Koa. I really am hoping for the best for him, but you got to learn a little bit behind Ryan Dunn.
Ryan Dunn, Ryan Dunn got picked 3 years ago, and they think really highly of him. So
your $12.90 bet on Pete, I should say, at plus 15,000 gets you back $1,947.90. There you go. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. DK on the Sports Tip, final segment with us today. I do want to get, before we get, let's just go ahead and get we'll get our Casino del Sol replay in first here.
The Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
All right, we had a chance to chat with new Arizona women's basketball assistant coach Devin Newman. She did not play college basketball. She went to Oregon. So I asked her how her path in coaching took shape.
My path really started after college. Okay. It was a MBA connection with my dad and at the time the director of operations at Louisville, and got on the phone with Coach Walls one time, and he's like, I got a GA spot. So I just got in the car and drove across the country and started working camps right away as a GA, and just kind of went from there. So
how have you kind of developed yourself as a coach, starting as someone that, like you mentioned, began as a GA and has worked in a number of different places. You've been at, obviously before Pitt, you were at, looks like Binghamton University up in New York, Weber State out in Utah. How have you developed yourself?
Yeah, I think, just really having the opportunity to do whatever I wanted. When I was at Louisville, Coach Walls was like, hey, get involved with whatever you want to get involved with. And so I did everything. I was in the video room. I was breaking down film. I was on the court working kids out. I was doing all of the recruiting stuff. Like, whatever I could touch, like, that's what I wanted to do. And where I found my place and my passion was on the court with kids, and really just working that player development angle. And because I think that's one way you get your program better every day, and that's where you build the best relationships with those kids when you're in the trenches with them, working them out and getting them better every day. So I just kind of built my way up through there, and I really had a great opportunity to meet one of my mentors at Louisville, Beth Ann Ord. And so that's where, her and I built an incredible relationship there. And then I was with her for 13 years, 7 years at Weber State and then 6 years at Binghamton. And she just really allowed me to do everything. We built a great, bond, a great trust. And so then I grew as far as, doing offensive stuff, doing defensive stuff, recruiting, building my base there. And so it's just every year you just kind of add to your bag, so that's kind of how I developed.
Today's Casino del Sol replay is brought to you by Casino del Sol, home of award-winning dining, gaming, resorts, and golf.
Devin Doo-Wop Newman, new assistant coach for your Arizona women's basketball team. All right, real quick before we get out of here, 74 days to Arizona football, the kickoff of the 2026 season. This wide receiver is a guy that is expected to have a really big season.
Here comes the rush. Pump fake again. Gets away. Fires on the run. Caught for the first down and more. And there goes Trey Spivey. He's going to score. 10-5. Touchdown, Arizona.
That's a big-time play. Noah Fafita eludes the rush and finds Trey Spivey on a slant route, puts it right on him, and he just takes it to the house.
Trey Spivey had some big touchdowns last year, but they didn't go as much to him as we would have liked to have seen towards the end of the season.
Right? In bunches.
Yeah, I mean, in the middle of the season, he was just dominant there for sure. But again, it was a good receiving room last year, and he believes it's even a better receiving room this year.
Oh, yeah, I think it's awesome, man. We got Mizell, Gio, and Chris Hunter, the guys that, were in that rotation last year. And I think that we've built a lot of chemistry as a receiver core, you know what I'm saying? Just being able to move on the field, communicate on the field when it comes to blocking or somebody needs a quick reminder on what responsibility might be. We got them. We know exactly what each other are thinking. And I think that's huge when you have a receiver core that is not only comfortable with each other, but like all gets along with each other too. You know what I'm saying? We have a great relationship, spend a lot of time together off the field as well. And, from my experience, that's not always the case at every single school. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the competition can get so fiery that it creates a bit of tension within the receiver group, but we don't have that at all. We mesh real well together, and I think that the more time that we put in with Noah, I truly believe that we'll have the best receiver core in the nation this year.
All right, so last year, Trey Spivey had 7 touchdowns on 23 catches. So let's just kind of parlay that into 50 catches next year. That's 15 touchdowns. He's got to get the ball. Got to get the ball more.
I don't know if that's how probabilities work, but sure.
I just like to do numbers. All right, that's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to Devin Newman for joining us, for Dragon Ball, for Cricket, for J-Dub. They'll hold it down tomorrow and Friday. We'll be off next week. I'm David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Henry Vasar is still on the board. We'll see when Jaden and Tobe come out. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the Cruz and Associates Personal Injury Attorneys Traffic Center, this is your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. With an earlier collision, that was reported I-10 near Congress and reported from the westbound side of I-10 near Congress and off on the shoulder. And also some slowdowns for travel headed westbound on Miracle Mile at Flowing Wells. And I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters.
We're all racing to the red light, but this isn't NASCAR. Use caution. And if your vehicle needs a pit stop, just head on over to any Brake Masters stop sign. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Brake Masters. We give you an honest break.
For adults with Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms, every choice matters. Tremfya offers self-injection or intravenous infusion from the start. Tremfya is administered as injections under the skin or infusions through a vein every 4 weeks, followed by injections under the skin every 4 or 8 weeks. If your doctor decides that you can self-inject Tremfya, proper training is required. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions, increased risk of infections or lower ability to fight them, and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or need a vaccine. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
If your windows can't keep up with the heat, it's time for an upgrade. At the Window Depot, windows are what we do. Biggest inventory, best prices, guaranteed. Found a lower price? We'll beat it. Shop in stock or custom vinyl windows, built for efficiency and style. From one window to full home replacement, we help you get the right windows for less. Lower your energy bills and stay comfortable year-round. Visit a location near you or order online at thewindowdepot.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilder.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000. Use code TRACK to borrow up to $10,000.
Oh, no, not the sink. Not now.
Plumbing issues can put your life on pause. But with anytime emergency scheduling, the Neighborly Done Right promise, and more, Mr. Rooter Plumbing will have your life flowing again in no time.
All fixed.
Much better.
Mr. Rooter is proud to cheer on the Cats. Mention this ad for 10% off any plumbing service. A win for the whole family. Bear down, Arizona.
Mr. Rooter Plumbing, a Neighborly company.
Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. Wildcats Radio 1290 studios are brought to you by ICCU at ICCU.com.